Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to HumanOurce. May I request you all to kindly keep your mics on mute. Welcome all to HumanOurce 2020. HumanOurce, the name of this HR summit, highlights the recognition of human beings as human resource. HR, the heart of a company and a work often undermined, has evolved tremendously over a short span of time. It is not merely managing employees in a traditional way anymore, but looks after the well-being of employees as well. HR runs in today's world with artificial intelligence, improving the organizational performance. As for a business to boom, HR needs to research. Thus, the primary theme of this summit is resurgence of HR, with special focus on sub-themes like performance management, HR and technology, people analytics, corporate learning, and employee well-being. We shall now fold our hands for Saraswati Vandana. I would like to welcome our esteemed dignitaries today, Mr. Arvind Thothadre, Vice President, Global Training and Certification, Automation Anywhere, India, as our chief guest. I am presenting you with our virtual bouquet.
Thank you very much. I really
Dr.
appreciate
Bhavna, thank you, sir. Dr. Bhavna Nigam, Head Innovation and AI, Depotex Private Limited, India.
Thank you. Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you, ma'am. Professor Dr. Biju Kumar Thapalia, Dean, Purbanchal University, Nepal. Dr. Mario B. Curatolo, CEO, MBC Business Management Consultants, Switzerland. Mr. Irfan Ali Khan, Head Sales and Marketing, Oman Quarries LLC, Oman.
Welcome once again.
Sorry. Mr. Prasanna Kutte, Vice President HR, Avignon India Private Limited, India. Mr. Tanka Prasad Bhattarai, Vice President HR, Shankar Group, Nepal. Thank you, esteemed dignitaries, for joining us today. Before we move any further, let me introduce you all to our institute. Dr. Gaur Singhania, Institute of Management and Research, popularly known as GHS-IMR, is one of the oldest and premier management institutes established in 1995 by JK Organization, one of India's leading and respected India conglomerates. The institute is working towards academic excellence and development of management skills through its flagship 2-year full-time postgraduate diploma in management program, which is approved by the AICTE and recognized as equivalent to MBA by the Association of Indian Universities. The institute is also NAAC P+ accredited. So far, 23 batches have been successfully graduated from the institute, and there are more than 1900 alumni. GHS-IMR has been ranked as the 45th best B school of India by Business Today in 2018 and has also been rated as AA+ Careers 360 degree. The institute has also been acknowledged as the 20th Promising B School of India by Competition Success Review in the same year. It was also awarded as the Outstanding Institute of North India 2017 by BBC Knowledge. Now, I would like to introduce our associate partner, Novel Academy, Pokhara, Nepal. Novel Academy was officially registered as Novel Academy Kaski Limited with the Nepal Government Company Registered Office as an academic cum consultancy institution on December 2, 2002. Novel Academy is accredited with the University of Cambridge, International UK, the British Council Nepal, and Ministry of Education and Sports. Nepal offers University of Cambridge GCE and A-level courses and is affiliated to Purbanchal University to offer MBA, BBA, B-Pharmacy, and BSc nursing program in Pokhara. Novel Academy has its own premises in the New Road, the heart of the city, Pokhara. It is ideally located in a quiet and peaceful environment, and it is spacious enough to carry out circular, co-curricular and extracurricular activities. The academy aims to encourage students to be confident in modern world, with vast changes in economic, social, and organizational challenges that are rapidly happening daily across all borders of the world. Now, before I request Summit Patron, Dr. Professor Rakesh Premi, to deliver the welcome address, let me first introduce him to the audience. Director GHS-IMR, Dr. Professor Rakesh Premi, is currently the director at Dr. Gaur Singhania Institute of Management and Research. He is the former campus director of Leeds Metropolitan University, UK's Indian campus, Leeds Met India, Bhopal, and also a visiting faculty to Indian Institute of Management, Shillong. He holds a doctorate degree in the area of marketing, along with one master's in business administration and two bachelor's degree in law and science each, and brings him with a wide range of academic and industry experience of 35 years. Now, I invite Director GHS-IMR to deliver the welcome address.
So, good afternoon again, everyone, and welcome to this 6th International HR Summit. Actually, I find myself very much speechless because I'm basically a man and a student of brand, and here I see all stalwarts from the field of HR. So, I consider myself lucky. At least I'm entitled to welcome you guys. Otherwise, I should not open my mouth because I see so many people, Prasanna ji, Arvind ji, and then so many other dignitaries from various places. I remember this is, this is our sixth. I remember I said that of change and automation will happen and everything. But thanks to this coronavirus, everything has been accelerated so much now that all those changes which we were expecting earlier, maybe in 10 years or 15 years, I think they have already happened in past 6 months. And particularly, I think in all management functions, HR in particular has been, I think, affected, or I can say evolved in a much better way as compared to other functions. Other functions were already witnessing very good growth, in a sense, say something like finance and other things. So in this summit, I think usually we used to have one-day program, but in these 3 hours, I think we'll be doing a lot of brainstorming, and we could get to hear some of the finest thinkers in the field of HR, and a lot of value is going to be added to each and every one of us, because thanks to this platform, we'll be speaking to people across the globe, and so many things will come from different geographies to this place that I think it will enrich each and every one of us. And I also thank my team, Dr. Monica and my students, for putting in a lot of efforts and organizing this event for the benefit of us all. So I think without taking much time, I hand it over to Monica, and you can take it over. So welcome everyone again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Before I request Summit co-patron, Mr. Vishweshwar Acharya, to deliver his address, let me first introduce him to the audience. Mr. Vishweshwar Acharya is founder-president of the Naval Academy, Pokhara in Nepal. As an academic entrepreneur, he established the Naval Academy as a pioneering institution to offer University of Cambridge GCE A-level programs along with the National University's undergraduate and graduate programs in BSc, Nursing, B Pharma, BBA, and MBA. For the first time outside of capital Kathmandu Valley in the city of Pokhara in December 2002. Now, I invite the President of Naval Academy, Nepal, Mr. Vishweswar Acharya, to deliver his address.
Thank you so much, Sweta. HR Summit Chair, Professor Dr. Monica Srivastava. And Monica ma'am, you are a real hero in human capital. And I truly say that you are the hero. I know you have gone through the family mourn, however you make it happen. Sorry to share that she lost her father 2 weeks earlier. So our thought and prayers are always with her family. We normally say that, and I have also learned from you, the true test of the leadership is how well you function in a crisis. I think you have really proved in the situation, and also we have learned so many things from your admiring personality. Thank you so much for being the chair of this summit once again. We are highly honored to have our Chief Guest, Arvind Thothangri, Vice President of Automation Anywhere. Similarly, we have highly honored, and personally myself, I am really blessing to have a mentorship of our Professor Dr. Rakesh Premi. He is the Director of GHS-IMR and patron of this HR Summit. We have eminent speakers from Nepal, Switzerland, Oman, and India. We have invited many academia professionals, principals, directors, and industry HR professionals. Dear students, very good afternoon and namaste from Nepal. On behalf of organizing committee, I welcome you once again in this webinar from core of my heart. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be a part of this 6th International HR Summit. It's a great honor and privilege for us to collaborate with GHS-IMR family, and it is a matter of pride for us to be the co-organizers of this much-awaited 6th International HR Summit. I thank you, Rakesh sir and Monica ma'am, for trusting in us, and I always look for your mentorship to our college in Nepal all the time. As the world is facing unprecedented challenges triggered by the COVID-19, at the same time, our HR are facing tremendous technological changes in our organizations. So every organization to think for a new people strategy is rightly captured by the theme of this HR Summit. Resurgence of HR is the new people strategy, embodies the need of 21st century human resource management. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to get inspired by late Gaur Singhania, who was the president of JK Organizations, a leading industrial group, which has its roots extending nearly 100 years. We are honored to be under the umbrella of such an eminent figure and leading business group of India for excellence in education. Now, on the leadership of Professor Dr. Premi and Monica ma'am, it has been extended globally so that we are here together, and we look forward to working together in many years to come in the future. Thank you so much once again, Professor Premi, Monica ma'am, and team of GHS-IMR Group for your continued support and love and continued blessing to Nobel Academy and our team in time permits. So by this time, human capital is considered to be the most important element for company success. The process of developing human capital requires creating the necessary environment in which employee can learn better, apply innovative ideas, acquire new competency, develop skills, and have directionality. The culture of resurgence build an atmosphere which foster the key attribute of responsibility, loyalty, and initiative. I am pretty much sure that the discussion on this summit will bring out the way to move forward in this pandemic, and our human capital continue to work for our organization for a better tomorrow. By this saying, I don't have to say much things because my mentor, Professor Premi, is spellbound. He has not saying so many things. I am still the student of this HR, and I have to learn so many things from the expert this evening. So I once again I welcome each and everyone, all the eminent speakers, all the participants in this webinar. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Have a great time and have a good day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your wisdom. Now, I would request the Summit Chair, Dr. Monica Srivastav, Professor GHS-IMR, to deliver the inaugural address. But before I welcome her, let me first introduce her to the audience. Dr. Monica Srivastav is currently working as a professor at GHS-IMR, Kanpur. She has a doctorate in the field of organizational behavior and holds master's degree in psychology and business administration as well. With more than 22 years of diversified experience in management education, she has been actively involved in management teaching and research and has been a part of institutes like Employees State Insurance Corporation, Kanpur, Sahara Hospital, Lucknow, Institute of Research Development and Training, IRDT, Kanpur, etc. She has also authored more than 25 research papers. Now, I invite Summit Chair, Professor Monica Srivastav, to deliver the welcome address.
Ma'am, please switch on your mic.
Yeah, thanks. Good afternoon to all of you. We have a proud privilege to extend heartiest welcome to everyone present for the 6th International HR Summit HumanOurce 2020. We feel honored by the gracious presence of our chief guest, Mr. Arvind Tothadri, Vice President, Global Training and Certification, Automation Anywhere. Mr. Bisheshwar Acharyaji, CEO, Noble Academy, who is also Summit co-patron, our director, Professor Rakesh Premi, Summit patron, all the experts of the Summit, and other distinguished guests from industry, academia, and my dear students. It is a matter of great pleasure for all of us that we could spare time and be on this platform and be part of the journey named HumanOurce. HumanOurce, the HR Summit, started in 2014 with the objective of gathering HR professionals of the country to bout on strengthening the HR profession and thereby develop the human capital. Human resource, as we know and understand, is evolving. The combined action of headstrong digitalization and the volatile sociological needs of the people in the present time has enforced us to revive the HR. Human beings have the great ability to overcome any challenge that they have come across. Every crisis gives us lesson, helps us evolve further. However, we may have to pay cost for it. The present crisis has also created a big impact on the whole world and in every dimension of our way of life. But we are sure that it will be recovered with triumph. Corporate world has responded with agility to the unprecedented social and economic disorder. The dent of this perilous environment are no doubt deep, but I'm sure collaboratively we will overcome the fallout of this pandemic in equal measure. Time has witnessed the resurgence of HR, human resource practices in the last few months. I have talked to many HR professionals on how they have handled the crisis due to pandemic. I have observed every organization has found its own endurance formula. HR professionals are working for creating employee experience which blends with organization culture and growth and ensures that employees feel valued and supported. along every step of their workplace journey. To quote, Town Hall, which was annual event in most of the organization, has become fortnightly or monthly event now. To share such experiences of HR professionals in managing people in these uncertain times, this stage of HumanOurce 2020 has been created. Thus, this summit theme is resurgence of HR with special focus on areas such as performance management, technology, analytics, and employee well-being. The themes and sub-themes will be discussed through panel discussion, plenary session, and paper presentation. So let's listen to them and how they have posed to the challenge, the HR professionals have posed to the challenge and discovered the opportunities. The objective of the summit is that academicians, practitioners, and policy implementers jointly construct a way forward in the unexplored so that people revive with more vigor. Now, giving you a brief of today's activity. Today's program will start with the keynote address by the chief guest, Mr. Arvind Thotadri, followed by panel discussion on the topic HR strategies in the challenging time, where the moderator will be Dr. Biju. Panel members will be Dr. Mario, Dr. Bhavna, and Mr. Irfan Ali. Then there will be plenary session by Mr. Prasanna Kutte, Vice President, Human Resource, Avion India Private Limited. Then there will be another panel plenary session with the address by Mr. Tanka Prasad Bhattarai from Shankara Group, Nepal. Post plenary session, there will be one paper presentation by Ms. Shreya on HR and AI. Last, valedictory session where we will be conferring HumanOurce Award 2020. The summarization of events activity will be done by Mr. Deven Jaiswal, the summit co-chair. We feel gratified to share with you that we have tried constantly to enhance the level of HR Summit in terms of number of participants, experts, and could bring some of the finest experts across the world for our delegates. Hope the event serves every creative mind an opportunity to share the thought on HRM. We wish you all great learning. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Shweta. You may proceed, Shweta.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wisdom. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for your wisdom. Now, I would request our chief guest, Mr. Arvind Thotadri, Vice President, Global Training and Certification, Automation Anywhere, India, to share his thought. But before I welcome him, let me first introduce him to the audience. Mr. Arvind Thotadri is a postgraduate from IIM, Lucknow, with 25 years experience in diverse roles, driving growth across various business and geographies. His last 14 years have been in leadership roles, advocating technology in learning, training, and assessment across a wide range of customers throughout the globe. He has a strong track record in establishing processes that drive revenue growth. He comes with a rounded experience, having worked in large firms and in smaller setups as well, leveraging on the learnings from both ends of the spectrum. For the past few years, he has devoted himself to various aspects of educational delivery, evangelizing technology solutions. He has a firm belief that technology is the catalyst that will ultimately equalize the quality of learning. Thank you, sir. I would hand over the stage to Mr. Arvind Thotadri.
Thank you, Shweta. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a real pleasure and honor to be here. Firstly, I'd like to express my gratitude to Dr. Premi. Our association with Dr. Premi and the Institute is about 2 years when he came to our office. And then I had the pleasure of visiting your institute as well. There are 3 reasons why the affection is slightly better with this institute. One, I passed out of IIM Lucknow, which is again very close to where you are, 25 years back. And that's here that your college was also set up. And 2, this institute is the first management institute where we set up a center of excellence. In India, this is the first MBA institute to set up a center of excellence for automation anywhere. That's two. And three, when I graduated, Mr. Singhania was the board of chairman of IIM Lucknow. I got my degree from him. So that's the additional affection that I have. So really great to be here. And the picture that you've seen and the current face that you see here, slightly different. You could blame it on COVID, I guess, because people are stuck at home for 6 months, haven't gone. So you try a lot of things. So I tried removing some of the stuff here, and that's why the face is different compared to what picture Shweta had put up, which is about 8 months old. So great. I represent a company called Automation Anywhere. It's a 16-year-old organization headquartered out of Sanasi, founded by Indians, basically they're from Gujarat, and they moved to US to set up the company. And we're the global leader in the space of RPA. RPA is the robotic process automation, which helps people to automate a lot of work which the humans are currently doing. Routine process, mundane process, which doesn't add too much of value for the human mind. And so it automates. The human mind is set to do activities which are analytical. People have to think and act. We do about 30% of a daily job, which is what McKinsey had said, is very, very mundane. And those can be done by people like our assistants. We call them digital assistant, which is called a bot. We've got about 20 lakh plus bots working across the globe. We've got about 4,000 customers across the globe and about 20 plus lakh bots working, basically assisting people across the globe to help. And the largest employer, I believe, is the Chinese army. They've got about 23 lakh soldiers. It's a matter of time before our company is going to be the largest employer if you're going to use the digital worker. We'll hit about 30 lakh bots by the end of the year, by which case, if you have to take the human and the digital workforce working side by side, we'll be the largest employer. But that's the ease of adoption that you've seen. And what 5 years, I mean, in the last 5 years, we've seen many of the CTOs, CXOs talk about digital adoption. How do you make it more digital? They just moved the needle a little. But the last 6 months of COVID has created a tremendous impact. I mean, for all the negative things that we're all going through because of this pandemic, the positive side is people, the human tenacity. We've been able to tide over this crisis and move the digital adoption really, really fast. In 6 months, the changes that we've seen in the digital world is outstanding, and it's clearly what a decades of work is what I would say. That's the amount of improvisation, that's the amount of innovation that the human mind has done. It's across. Again, RPA is basically, it's a technology, but what we've seen is it's more like typically it's very popular in the engineering colleges. We've got about 150 colleges in the country where people have set up a center of excellence, but a very, very few management schools which have set up center of excellence. Because the management kids believe that it's a techie job of learning automation. But the fact is, in this pandemic, what we've seen, many of the people are learning to automate stuff themselves. Clearly, RPA as a technology, I'm not evangelizing my company product, but I'm saying as a technology, we've seen it become really very important to what day-to-day work that everybody's doing. The number of hours that people are spending is far higher because it's all digital, it's all virtual, and the home versus the office lines are getting blurred. People are spending more time work from home. The calendars are all filled. So people are facing a lot more work that they're doing. And automation is helping them in multiple spheres. And second, this is not about techie, and this is the horizontal. RPA as a technology is helping people across various verticals, across industries. Across the 4,000 industries, companies that you're working with, it cuts across banking, finance, insurance, retail, automobile, you name it, everybody's got it. And the biggest two sectors in each of those companies are, one is the finance and accounts. There's a big usage where there's a lot of automation getting used. Second, surprisingly, is HR. We always think HR does a lot more paperwork, doesn't do too much of innovation and automation, but HR is something which is seen do a lot more automation than what we'll give them credit for, which I think is fantastic. In the last 6 months specifically, the amount of innovation that HR has done is outstanding. They are onboarding people. There are people leaving for whatever reason. They're able to make people exit very smooth. They're able to do appraisals. They're able to do anything. I mean, the amount of HR is all a touch, feel, human contacts job. But they're able to do a lot of that without seeing each other physically. That is what HR innovation has actually come up in a very, very big way in the last 6 months. And some of the credit goes to automation because they're able to automate a lot more process. They're able to do a lot more virtually. That's a huge plus and a huge upside that we've seen in the last 6 months. And HR is evolving. I mean, if you look at any process of what HR is doing, Some of it is human, meaning they say you have to apply a mind, but some of the processes are where you don't have to apply a mind. It's basically a routine work that you're doing all the time, like sending an email, sending an offer letter, all of that is routine stuff. Can you automate that? That is what the world is doing to us. And that's a big, big space that we are seeing HR automate. And the innovations are just not stopping. They just keep doing and using. HR and technology are coming really close. I mean, historically, what people have believed is HR and technology don't merge. All that well has been a myth. All that is getting shattered. Technology is really getting embedded. It's getting part of what HR is doing, which is why people are able to perform a lot more in this time. It's full credit to the HR fraternity, what they've been able to do, keep the employee moral really high, because it's very difficult to work, I mean, at least in the technology space. Many of them are not going to offices. Many of them, it's all virtual. Everything is remote. You don't get to meet people. It's all virtual meeting. In this condition, in this space, if people are able to keep the chin up and start delivering, that's great credit to what HR has been able to do. And automation is clearly there. Just to talk a little more about what automation is all about, RPA space, and our association with this institute in particular. The way we've done this is that we realized that there is a lot of demand for people to know about RPA itself, but the industry wants, but there are not enough trained people. And the companies are saying, why should I invest more and more time after I've hired people and train them? Can the training happen right at the college itself? Which is why we started partnering with institutes even before the students are passing out. We go set up a center of excellence, which is basically giving a software, training the faculty, training the students, giving the certification. All of this is done at no cost. We're not charging anything for the students or for the college for this particular initiative. We're not charging anything for this. It's all given as because we believe that the students have to learn, the colleges have to pick up the new technologies. And as a company which has a big skin in the game in India, we want more and more Indians to learn, whether it's your engineering students or management students, to learn additional skills. And again, we've seen that HR as a function has a role to play in this, whether it's in corporate space or in colleges. They have to ensure that the students pick up additional skills. For example, NASSCOM's come out with a note which said that there are about 9 future skills. They're saying that these 9 future skills are going to create about 20 lakh jobs in the next 2-3 years, which is what our Prime Minister launched last year. And RPA is one of them. Roughly about 2.5 lakh jobs is supposed to come from RPA itself. We realized that there is not enough trained workforce. The clear thing that we did was, let's go to the colleges, let's partner with the corporates, take it up. HR has a big play in this to ensure that the students or the corporate employees that they have to skill people, get the additional skills. The college students, for example, in this institute, GHS, there are about 30 students who've got certification, which is a big plus. When they go for interviews or when they go for additional work, the moment they're able to showcase additional certification, that's a big plus in helping them to skill people. Skilling is really important for people. Even in many of the HR folks who are here on the call as well, it'll be great to leverage on what is available in terms of additional opportunities for the employees to learn. And every skilling that they learn is aligned to what the industry expectations are, aligned to the organization's outcome. So more and more people, employees or the college students start skilling themselves. It helps the corporate to achieve its goal better. It improves the employee morale because they got the additional skill, helps in employability, helps them to perform better. And clearly, when people are able to automate some of the part of the work, if I have to work for say 8 hours, about 4 or 5 hours of a routine job, if I can get the 2 hours back into some creative work, imagine the amount of value that the organization gets if each employee is able to remove 22 hours of work from doing the routine job and able to add value by way of thinking. If that is the amount of work that a simple technology like RPA gets it, it may not give direct revenue or anything, but the intellect that it brings to the table is far superior, which is why we've gone ahead and partnered with 150 institutes across the globe. And we're really proud of this partnership that we have with GHS and Dr. Premi. We believe that it will help the students passing out of this when they join the college and then join the corporates to automate some of the routine jobs and to automate some of the functions when they're heading functions, when they're doing functions. So all of that HR has a real good play to because they have to drive all the skilling. They have to look for opportunities. They have to align with the industry leaders and figure out which are the technologies that they can skill people. which are the relevant modes, which are the relevant methods available? How do you ensure that the employees get more and more skill? That is a job of HR, which I think is going to become very relevant. In this time, again, just to add some statistics from what we've seen, assuming that we had about 100 users taking every month before the pandemic, in this time of the last 6 months, we've seen more than double the number of users coming onto a platform. That is the amount of time and people are willing to skill themselves. So clearly, people see that in this time, how do I ensure that I learn as much as I can? And not just our organization, which is a product company, but if you look at any of the virtual technology providers, everybody is able to, the numbers have skyrocketed, whether it's your Coursera, LinkedIn, Udacity, Upgrad, every edtech company has seen some huge offtake in terms of number of users. That is clearly showing that the companies are believing in partnership and ensuring that their employees are getting skilled. All of this is driven by the HR. So HR has a big focus to skill the employees, one, understand what they have to skill on. So that's something which I believe that in your discussions, you'll have to bring it out and ensure that you're able to give your employees and the students the choice of what to take, what to learn. In my 25 years, I've done varied roles, right from selling lights, bulbs, music, and multiple stuff. Towards the last 15 years is one I've been in the sphere of edtech. Clearly, this is a space where technology meets education. When I mean education, it's learning in HR. That is the space where we can make the biggest impact for everybody. As a country, as people who are running functions and organizations, this is the space where you can make the biggest impact. And clearly, if you're able to help employees to skill themselves better, arm them with more degrees, certifications, and what is possible through HR initiatives, that will help them individually. It will help the organization better because every learned employee contributes that much more to the organization. So it's very important for the HR to make a play. And again, we're not sure when the offices are going to, when life is going to come back to normal. People are saying 6 months, a year. So for the next 1 year, if HR can play in their organizations to skill people, give them avenues and opportunities, identify which will make the biggest impact, identify technologies, or could be any not just technology, but anything which they think that if employees are trained on will help them, that is what they should drive towards. And most of our learning that we have on RPA, which is Automation Anywhere, we've given it free for the colleges. Similarly, all the corporates have the benefit of going through our e-learning, which is hosted on a platform at no cost at all. Because we believe that we don't want to charge anything for learning here. The employees and the people have the right to learn something which is relevant. And so it's for the benefit of all the HR folks here. If you want your employees to learn, we've got Automation Anywhere University, which is a free open portal. People can read through RPA, understand the benefit, and how in turn it helps the organization to get the value of RPA and do it. So that's on Automation Anywhere itself. And second, in terms of partnerships that we have, we've also signed up with the AKTU in Uttar Pradesh. We've got about 800 colleges which are part of our association, and we're setting up labs there. The intent of what we set up, I mean, this is for the benefit of HR and for the colleges as well. We set up labs in colleges because we believe that the corporates can hire better. When you go for an interview, for example, at a college, and you see that I hire 2 students are pretty much on the same level, you want to look for students who've done more hands-on. More and more hiring is based not on knowledge, but on skills. So if people can show a certificate which says, I did a course versus I did hands-on work, I was skilled and I got a certificate, industry relevant certificate, they are the students who are getting more and more recognition. They are the ones who are getting more relevance and are able to hire. The moment they join a company, HR sees that they're more productive. The productivity of employees who come ready skilled shows 2 things. One, their willingness to learn a lot more. They are students who come and say that I've done that extra bit even while at college. So the companies are very happy hiring such people, and the students are happy because they're able to see fast track their careers as well. And the companies benefit because they get people who are ready, trained, and they can hit the road running. So it's a clear benefit which all the people have seen. And this is the partnership which is run really well. And it's not just in India. It's a global association that we have at most of the universities across. And we've seen this work really well. It's not something new. My companies like Microsoft have done it, but we've scaled it up really fast because the demand is very, very strong for RPA. All the companies, whether it's small, medium enterprise or the large enterprises, have a need for RPA. So we've been able to provide the students who are trained, and the various roles are there. Management students clearly have to know this because it's very important for them to understand. So there are two parts of management. One is you learn something about technology, but you learn more about business. When they get hired, when they are employed in organizations, the companies look for people saying that, can you tell me which are the biggest ROI giving tasks? So the management students have to go through some of the trades that we have, figure out, it's called business analyst. And RPA as a course is taught at GHS itself. So it's a great thing. The management students, when they pass out, they have a full course being taught at the college itself. These students will benefit a lot more, and the companies which hire them will benefit a lot more. Somebody's saying there's no voice. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so these students will help the companies a lot better because they'll be able to provide the companies in terms of which are the process, and they get an additional skill. And while HR is important, it's not techie, but HR as a function, if they know what is automatable, that's a big plus for them when they join HR as a function. And it's not just HR. Every function, the management students, they have to learn something about RPA because irrespective of whatever function they're getting employed, there is some amount of routine work which they'll encounter. And that needs to be automated because then it gives them time back and they can use that to more productive activities in terms of what a human mind is supposed to do. I mean, gone are the days when in earlier days, people would just get hired for doing one particular thing like a stamp, just do the same stuff all over again. That's a very routine task which a human mind is not required to do. We are born for creativity, we're born for analytical skills. These are two things which we have to do. And our product uses technology one, it also uses artificial intelligence. So it clearly uses machine learning, artificial intelligence, and technology. So the students, whether you're an engineering or a management student, you will benefit learning the additional technology. RP is just one of them. So I really wish the conference a great success. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more thoughts. My last point again is HR should drive more adoption, help the employees, skill them better so that they're able to give value to the organization. And the employees see a good career path and there's stickiness there with the employees because they see that HR is helping them to get the additional skills. And that's something which companies look for and the people look for. Employees look for the salary increment, definitely. But they look for saying that, what has the company done for me addition? So these are some of the easy things which HR can address, get the value, skill people, improve value for the organization, improve stickiness, and get the ensuring that the employees stay for a longer time. Employees staying for a longer time helps the company in the long run. So please go ahead and advocate some of the new skillings initiatives which are there and automate as much as you can so that the routine job gets knocked off and people are thinking, analyzing, and making life good for themselves, for the organization, and for the society at large. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Premi.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We would like to present you with a certificate for your contributions.
Nice. Thank you. A digital certificate is a novelty, and to get it from Novel Academy is good. Thank you.
It's now time to have a panel discussion on the topic HR strategies in the challenging times and way forward. The moderator will initiate with the discussion and the panel experts would further share their views on the topic. Towards the end, the moderator shall summarize the discussion. Professor Dr. Biju Kumar Thapalia, Dean, Purbanchal University, shall moderate the panel discussion. Let me now introduce you to the panel members. Professor Dr. Biju Kumar Thapalia, Dean, Purbanchal University, Nepal. Professor Dr. Biju Kumar Thapalia is the Dean of Purbanchal University. He received his PhD and MS in Logistics Management from Mould University College. Dr. Biju has been awarded with Bhariya Bhushan Ka from the Honorable President of Nepal. He has been a chief trainer to SOS Youth Facilities participants, and junior JC's programs. He has published many papers like using inventory to handle risk in the supply of oil to Nepal, promoting graduates' employability, single commodity network design with random edge capacities, among others. Purbanchal University, established in 1993 by the government of Nepal, conducts its academic programs through its 5 campuses, as well as more than 123 affiliate colleges. Dr. Bhavna Nigam, Head Innovation and AI, Depotex Private Limited, India. Dr. Bhavna Nigam is a co-founder at Depotex and ambassador of Indore, chapter of Women in Machine Learning and Data Science. She has a doctorate in machine learning. She helps clients to leverage artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning for developing solutions with focus on AI in healthcare, including radiology. She has earned learning credentials from University of California, San Diego, and Johns Hopkins University, NYIDIA. Depotex is a team of experts in artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, computer vision, data analytics, and R&D. Dr. Mario B. Curatolo, CEO, MBC Business Management Consultants, Switzerland. Dr. Mario B. Curatolo is the CEO of MBC Business Management Consultants. He is an accomplished management training consultant with an overall experience of 25 years and a proven track record in the development and implementation of organizational change programs. He received his PhD in Future Markets from University of Wales, Aberystwyth, Wales, UK. He has recognized as a keynote speaker at the 3rd International Conference on Global Business and Social Issues. Department of Business Administration, Assam University, and Youth Empowerment and Research Association, Silchar, India. Our next panelist is Mr. Irfan Ali Khan, Head Sales and Marketing, Oman Quarries LLC, Oman. Mr. Irfan Ali Khan is the Head Sales and Marketing in Oman Quarries Limited. His expertise is new business expansion, building strategies, sales, sustainability and transformation, growth and leadership. Mr. Khan receives his MSc in Strategic Marketing from University of Glasgow, United Kingdom. He had been a TEDx volunteer for Oman chapter. He has worked with some major corporates in India like Computer Sciences Corporation and No Cross Solutions Private Limited. As an analyst and presently is heading a large team to support the sales and marketing operations for various geographies for the mining products in Oman Quarries LLC. I now hand over the proceedings to the distinguished panel members.
Thank you, Shweta. A wonderful introduction of all the panelists here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I would like to have your attention, everyone, to join this panel discussion where we have a wonderful panelist here, as introduced by Shweta Agrawal. I do have a very technical person. I also have a very specialized marketing and also a person in the consultancy for many years. So basically, welcome you again to this panel discussion on the 6th International HR Summit, which is named as HumanOurce 2020, jointly organized by GHS-IMR and Novel Academy. Well, the theme of this conference is Resurgence of HR, and whereas the panel discussion theme is HR strategies in the challenging times and way forward. I really think that this is an apt discussion after listening to wonderful deliberation from our chief guest, Dr. Arvind. We do see that HR has been the thing which has helped moving the organization in the last few months in this pandemic situation. Then we definitely think that HR is very important. And as rightly said by Shweta in the introduction of this particular international conference, she said that HR is in heart. So definitely we need to be very careful with our heart, and the heart also need to be very careful with what are the developments taking place in other part of the whole organization. So in that way, I think HR is now rightly placed in the center of the whole the challenging situation that we are facing. So when I talk about resurgence, so I definitely think that HR has to work as a resurgence. It has to reoccur every time in any condition. It has to reinvent itself to find the solution, because the solution will not come only with the technology. Solution will not come with the finance. It will come through the people, because people are the one who will use this technology. They will use the money to solve the problem in the organization. So definitely, I think we are rightly set, and I do have a wonderful panelist here. So just I said the rule here, because which has already been given. What we'll do is that we will go to each of the panelists. I will start with Dr. Mario Cotello, and then I will go to Dr. Bhavna Nigam, and then I'll go to Mr. Irfan Ali Khan. So each of the panelists will get 10 minutes to share their views in the topic. And then in between, if there is any question that arises from the audience here, they can keep it ready. And when I will open the floor for the discussion, we can have that also. So before I start, I just want to say that, HR isn't a thing that we do. It's the thing that runs our business. So with that particular note, I would like to go to Dr. Mario to put his views in terms of the HR strategies and the challenging times and the way forward.
Okay, thanks,
Mario.
thanks ever so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the kind introduction to my profile. I'm very honored to be part of this summit, and I extend my thanks to not only to the organizers, but also to Dr. Monica and Dr. Sept for making all the arrangements necessary to allow me to be here as part of this panel to discuss on the topic of human resource strategies in challenging times and the way forward. Now, I would like to dedicate my presentation to the topic corporate learning in the flow of work, the new paradigm. Now, while we often think of training as programs, seminars, or courses, in fact, learning takes place basically as a process of experience, which takes place fundamentally at work. So therefore, this is why the new paradigm of learning, and in particular the way towards which corporate learning is aiming at, is learning in the flow of work. Now, in this context, it's become very clear that the obstacles to learning and therefore to growth are not so much to do with technical applications or technical tools that can enhance our learning process, but mostly have to do with the way we approach learning and the way we learn. In this context, corporate learning has been forced to respond creatively to the new market challenges, forcing it to take place in a much more functional way. That means fine-tune, on the one hand, the learning options with the contents of the learning options, using artificial intelligence to matchmake the two so as to come up with a more efficient learning results. Now, in this context, obviously, the tendency has been to equate corporate learning with Netflix learning. Of course, corporate learning is very different from Netflix learning, insofar as we do not, or people at work do not learn to be entertained, but learn to try to get something that they can really apply and use to solve the problem they're facing at work. Therefore, it is in this sense that true learning takes place in the flow of work, in the context, in the social context of work. Now, this shift towards learning in the flow of work means that corporate learning should be based on offering learning channels, topics, and recommendations that are work-based, so that then the training and learning can be focused exactly on what the employees need in order or are looking for in the context of their work. It is this social context in which learning takes place that expertise develop the capability and confidence of people about what they do and how they do it. So to achieve this, the challenge is how to design deep, meaningful corporate training practices. Well, this requires creating a perfect alignment between the elements that make practice effective and those that generate engaging. So therefore, that the people end up learning what they want to learn, and this kind of reinforces their interest in what they learn and the potential to learn. But this needs, however, corporate learning to develop or to become a theatrical, in the sense that learning should develop practical narratives that can be contextualized, performed, adapted, and replayed or reproduced, so that then the learning process can contribute to develop what organizations seek to become in the future, which are learning organizations. In the process of learning, two things are very important. On the one hand, motivation, and on the other one, anxiety. Normally, the simple approach is to say, well, motivations are enhanced learning, while anxiety is discouraged. But however, in a social context in which learning takes place, there should be a combination, an adequate equilibrium between the level of motivations and the level of anxiety, because we need anxiety in order to enhance motivation. But this level should not be high enough to discourage anxiety, to discourage motivation. So therefore, corporate learning needs to shift focus from learning events, which has been the traditional way in which learning has been approached, to promote learning experience within the firm. So the new corporate learning, corporate learning perspective centers on activities that the learners can perform, which help build skills. So they learn through doing in the work context. So at the end, really what corporate learning is seeking is to develop learners' actions and artifacts that can and will provide firms with the basis of evaluation of how much learning has taken place, so that then they can institutionally promote a mentoring of that learning, so that the veterans within the firm can guide the new ones into the ways things are done in the firm. so that they come to internalize the values and standards and philosophy of the firm, facilitating the whole process of organizational learning. So therefore, to create expertise, we need practice. Practice must be meaningful and tightly coupled with sufficient quantities to develop confidence, so that then learning is internalized and then change can take place. Now, this explains why, for example, corporate learning has become such a big business. In fact, worldwide statistics talk of a business of around $2 billion in size worldwide. So the object of corporate learning is not so much to enhance engagement, but more to create an interface between the different learning platforms, so that then employees can learn from different sources and enhance the whole global understanding of the work, regardless of where they are in their in the firm. So the object of corporate learning is therefore to get employees to spend less rather than more time on learning platforms and more on experiencing the learning process. And this is confirmed by statistics, because 68% of employees prefer to learn at work, as opposed to 58% of employees that prefer to learn at their own pace, or 49% of employees that prefer to learn at the point of need, exactly whenever the need comes. So the future of corporate learning will focus on two things. On the one hand, micro-learning, and on the other hand, macro-learning, in the context of a learning experience platform that will allow the applications of learnings in the place of work, such as recommendations, suggestions, tools, to help employees better their work. To define then what micro-learning and macro-learning are, micro-learning refers to aims at affecting or interest more employees who have not much time for learning and are more concerned with solving or getting information necessary to solve a particular problem and guidance about solving similar situations in the future. In this context, the learning platforms face their support actions on videos, articles, tools, etc. Macro-learning, on the other hand, focus on people that have more time to learn and are interested not so much in solving immediate problems, but in preparing the development of future solutions, changing decision takers that whose actions will affect the way the firm will move in the future, and whose role will be to convince others to follow them. In this context, these macro learning platforms will rely on courses, seminars, programs guided by consultants, trainers, facilitators, who will try to change the way decision takers think about their business, so that they can adjust to the way in which the business will have to be conducted in the future. To conclude then, learning in the flow of work represents a new paradigm insofar as it allows all learning actors in a firm to be able to share in a social assessment coaching of their peers, the tips, experiences, using the learning platforms to practice what they have learned, hoping in the process to create a future organizational learning context in which will be typical of the future nature of funds. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mario. Wonderful. It's really very important. I can hear from what Mario has said that, to be more effective strategy, to create a strategy, HR strategy for this kind of situation, we have to have a learning organization. And in that, he had rightly pointed out that, the corporate learning is very, very important, and we have to create that environment. So it's wonderful. He has talked a lot about in that. Well, basically, what I was thinking is that before going to Dr. Bhavna Nigam, I just wanted to think that, presently, if we see in this present situation, present challenging time, most of the organizations are really, thinking that the technology has been something which has come in forefront for the organization survival. So definitely, I think they wish they had HR, or that they had people who understand the technology, who can implement the technology very effectively in the organization and can achieve the goals of the organization. So I'm sure the HR people are thinking in that way. Now, another thing is that they already may have a lot of technology, but they may think that we have people who can manage this change from, without using the technology to the managing the people with the technology. Now, the change in this mindset, the change in this organization culture, the change in this, the whole thing. So that is something very, very important. And I think this is something that which is highlighted at this particular point. Before going to Bhavna, I just wanted to say one comment like here, that HR managers, we are, I think, betting on people rather than on strategies, because strategies are dependent on those people. So actually, we are betting on our people. So if we get a good people, definitely we are in a very secure game, and definitely our strategies will be very, very successful. So keeping this in note, I go to now Dr. Bhavna Nigam to put forward her views on this particular topic.
Okay, thank you very much for first inviting me here in this platform to have a wonderful brainstorming on this ER strategies in this scenario, and after this scenario, what will happen. So, as an artificial intelligence person, I have worked for a lot of industries, and I have seen that they are using this AI very beautifully in their organization, not only for augmenting their workflow, as well as enhancing the skills in their we can say peoples. So as I would like to give you an example here, that in this situation what we are doing, first thing, we should be very open-minded for adoption and acceptance of the new technologies, which should be a mindset of the country and mindset of the business leaders, that yes, if I am going to adopt this kind of technology, it will definitely going to benefit my organization, my people who are working in my organization, and ultimately to my business. As in this situation, if we specifically talk about the healthcare, so we can daily we are listening that okay, today we lost these doctors, these nurses, they found COVID positive, they have given their lives to save others' lives. So if we have adopted early these kind of technologies, maybe the situations can be better, maybe better. If we take an example of China, then how they overcome with this situation very soon, because they were already at that page. So they were already prepared that we are going to use the artificial intelligence, we are going to use the latest technologies for augmenting the healthcare. So they were very well prepared. Now, if we talk about the statistics, then if by 2030 there is a lack of people, health professionals of 9.9 millions. So now you can realize that we were already lacking in these peoples, and on that we are having this kind of pandemic. So we were not prepared. So business has to rethink that, how we have to like be prepared using the latest technologies. So what we can in this situation, what like our company does that, we work with the organization and we suggest them that okay, with the use of this kind of technology you can improve all these things. So recently we work on a product where we are augmenting the physician's workflow, because the gap, as you all know, that if we found COVID positive, then we have to go the RT-PCR process that took 2 days. So what will happen of the lung of that patient in these 2 days? That matters a lot with that life. So by these things, can we detect early? In 2 minutes, can I detect whether I am COVID or not? Is that power I'm having as a person, as a human in my hand, that I should be able to detect my health, my health trick, that if I'm diabetic, what is the effect of this COVID on my health? So this kind of research development and product development and the acceptance of all these by the health professionals plus the common people is very much required. Because whenever we face that this kind of challenges, like whenever some organization came to us, whether it is retail or any kind of organization, they want to augment their workflow. So some position come from the employees itself, that they think there is something in the people's mind that AI is going to replace them. So no one can replace human, no one can replace, because that is artificial mind and we have a natural mind. So no one can replace. When computer comes, we were thinking that okay, computer will replace us. No. Is computer replaced us? No, it has just helped us, and we can do our work very quickly, and we will be able to like do more with the computer, and it has lead more we can say vacancy for the people, so that it has created job, not it has taken the job. So what I feel is that in HR, even we talk about HR, that if you wanted to suppose track your employees' health in your organization, I have seen some examples, even real-time examples, when at the working place someone got stressed and he get paralyzed. So can your organization leaders, admin, HR can track whether if some employee is coming in my company, so what is the health, in what emotion he is exactly right now? He is already stressed, he come under stress in the organization, so he cannot be productive. So better to talk to that person and solve the problem of the person. That will help to bridge the gap between the leaders of the company and the employees. They feel very connected with the company, because they are able to understand the employee very well. With the help of this technology, with the help of like face recognition, I can emotion recognition, with the using artificial intelligence, I can track the employee status, employee health, employee emotion. Maybe that we can solve and we can save more and more lives with the help of the latest technologies. So main thing which I believe, that technology is going to help you, not to replace you. It is going to just augment your workflow. So the operational efficiency is given in the hand of the leaders. If we take more and more examples, if we have a boat kind of things, robots we have who can work instead of nurse, instead of for a primary checkup of the patient, for monitoring, health monitoring of the patients. So that I think can save more and more lives in this situation. As far as HR strategies, so yes, it empowers the people. It empowers more and more people, and businesses believe in that. Yes, suppose we take an example of mass, we talk some request that we have a manufacturing unit, and here we cannot hold all the things. Like in IT professionals, we can work as remotely because we have to work on laptop. But there are some professions, there are some manufacturing units where people has to go. This is the need. They cannot operate it remotely. So what they can do for these employees so that they can be safe and they'll not get affected with each other. So first thing is compliances which they have to follow, like when they are coming into the organization, there or they can wear, we can have a wearable watch kind of thing, which if each employee is going to wear, then we can track real time that what is the oxygen level of that employee, what is the temperature of that employee, and if it is go high, then it can come as an alert to HR that yes, there is some problem here. So he can separate out the employee. They should follow the compliance says that they should wear the mask. They should follow, means maintain the distance, social distance with other employees. And even if some employee got found COVID positive, then we should be able to trace last 15 days record that in which contact the employee was, so that immediately they get quarantined. So some factories already sealed because of this situation, some found COVID positive. So there are some solution. With the help of that solution, we will be able to overcome this situation. And post COVID, I think people have learned more in this situation, that they got some time even that what I am, who I am, to discover themselves, what are the skill I should upgrade in myself. So this pandemic given a time to person, time to organization also. This is I guess beauty of this time, that we got time to think and reinvent ourselves, what we wanted to do in life and how we can do that roadmap. We should, everyone should be prepared. And so here, I would like to conclude my session that we should adopt the technology, accept the technology, so that we can work more and more better. And Atmanirbhar Bharat as the mission of this India. So we can be more and more independent in terms of everything. We have our country has a good people. Other countries used to hire our peoples. We have very much talent. Only thing that we should have a mindset to develop these kind of we can say technologies and adoption and acceptance of this technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ravana. It's wonderful. I do see that you have been highlighting that how technology, if we take it as an HR and use it properly, it's actually helping the operational efficiency and actually helping people to, with more time, to be more creative in the organization, to be more productive and contribute more. Wonderful. So what I see from the two panelists that so far we have been talking about, with respect to the HR strategies. One, we talked about the learning, the thinking, that is very, very important. That's what we saw. And another one is what technology can do with respect to that, because right now we in the opening remarks we had these things that nowadays the organizations are really adapting very fast. Their digital adaptation is very fast, and the human resource aspects are coming very close to digital. So which earlier we used to think that they are in the two sides of the spectrum, but now they are very close and working together to achieve more and more for the organization. Just thinking of the AI that you have been talking about and how it's useful. I remember talking to one of my friend who is in public sector, and they are using AI for the sorting out the applications of the large number of candidates that comes. Like that usually used to take 1 month or 2 months to sort out all the application to meet whether they're according to the requirement or not. Now with the AI, they are doing it very fast, very quickly. Within few hours, they are being able to process all those applications, and they're ready for their exams and things. So what happens is that if you look into from the HR point of view, that our selection process become very fast. So these are the things that are really helping the HR. I think this is what the HR strategists to think, the organization should think in terms of how they can use technology to become more effective in their, with respect to the HR strategies also things. Now, before coming to Irfan, basically I see that he is from marketing. So I definitely have to, a quotation that I remember, like, to win the marketplace, you must first win the workplace. So keeping that the tone. So I give this floor now to Irfan Ali Khan to discuss about the HR strategies that he thinks are something important in these challenging times and the way forward. Irfan, the time is yours now.
Thank you, Dr. Biju. Thank you so much. You have set the tone perfectly, okay, with your remark. And I would like to extend my gratitude and thanks to the organizers, Dr. Monica and your team. Thank you so much, and inviting me to share my thoughts. Well, before I go more into the depth, what I have done, I have basically divided the whole topic like HR strategies in the challenging times and way forward. So my 3 parts is that strategy, time, and way forward. Okay. So, but before I go more into the depth, there is one remark by Nawaz in the comment section, and he said HR department is most isolated in maximum organizations. Just to make a point on that, Mr. Srinivas, gone are the days. Those are the days of the past when HR was isolated. Now HR is the center of all the organization. I'm telling you from my own experience. In fact, COVID-19, the outbreak of this coronavirus has given an opportunity to the HR to show its significance, its importance, and its relevance, how to mitigate risk for its own people. And as Dr. Biju has said earlier, that people make company, right? This is the human tone that we have to set. And I work in an organization which has different strata or different layers of manpower. I work in a mining industry, which is not like a typical white collar or industry, though I don't like these terms, white collar or blue collar, but just to make it easy to understand to the students. The company, the organization that I work, we have different layers of manpower. We have blue collar workers, where we have helpers, we have laborers, operators, and drivers. Then we have white collars, we have foremen, supervisors, then executives, then managers. And there are challenges, there are problems which are specific to the teams, specific divisions. But there are problems which are common across the organization. So here, I would like to talk from my own perspective, from my own experience, that what I have observed in last 6-7 months, and what we have done as an organization, and what we can foresee in the future, and how we can buckle up to move forward. So there are like 3-4 challenges that we have seen that those are like common problem across the whole organization. The first and the foremost is the continuity of the business. I'm talking as a sales and marketing professional. The idea behind any business is its perpetuity. The business has to be perpetual. Whether you have anything, whether it's a natural calamity or any kind of disaster or any recession, the business is designed in such a way that it has to go on, it has to move forward. So the first and the foremost challenge that we have faced is how we can continue the business. And for that matter, we work on certain ideas that how we can work forward. Second challenge is the communication. Imagine we are living in an age of communication where we are bombarded with information. My workforce is getting information from so many sources. They have internet, from media, from government, from organization, from their colleagues, peers, and everybody have their own set of information, and that creates a lot of misinformation also, and that is also create a lot of panic. So we have to find a way where we can centralize the communication so that it should not create a panic among the workforce. And to be honest, our HR has done a brilliant job in that. I will tell you later on, like when I talk about the suggestions that we have worked on. And the third thing that which we found very challenging is to keep the employees motivated and to keep them engaged. I was just reading one of the articles, one of the surveys which was done by Gallup, and they are saying like, though it was like more centric to American workforce, they are saying like 33% of the workforce is engaged, and 52% is just showing up, and 15% is actively disengaged. And even in this, during these Corona times, during these COVID times, it was very difficult to keep the employees engaged and keep them motivated. And fourth, which for me personally, I think that is one of the biggest challenges that we as an organization or HR we face, is the physical and mental well-being of the employees. This is one area which I would like to highlight to all the HR experts and professionals across this panel and in this session. Mental well-being is one of the most neglected area. It was before also, but even in COVID-19, it was one of the areas which was highly neglected. But I would say it was a blessing in disguise that in this Corona or COVID-19 situation, people have started focusing more on physical well-being and mental well-being. So these are one of the like main challenges that those like which are common across the whole organization. For business continuity, what we have done, we have created some bubbles within the organization and across our client base also. And that is one of the best strategies which was suggested by the HR, that if we can make bubbles and it will not affect the business much. I'll give you an example. Like, for example, I have 20 set of clients and I have, say, 10 delivery people or 10 drivers. Okay, so we have divided the drivers in a bubble of 5 drivers on one side, 5 drivers on one side, and those 5 drivers are going to a certain location to certain customers, and the second 5 drivers are going to the certain location with a certain clients. In the same way, what we have done internally, that even in the office, we have changed our shifts, we have changed the locations so that the continuity of the business should be there. And that is one of the main areas where we have focused on, like how we can reduce any kind of infection within the team. Imagine like if all the finance team is sitting at one place and there is no split, and if one person gets infected, the whole team gets vulnerable and it will affect the business. So that's how we did it. Second thing, when it comes to communication part, we have done the centralized communication. So whatever communication is done, it is going through the HR and our corporate manager, corporate communication manager. They are like, we have strict instruction from the top that whatever information is coming through any channels, don't trust them, don't believe them, because it is creating panic among the force. And imagine the mental state of the workforce and how it will impact their productivity. So to mitigate it, mitigate that, we have just made centralized communication to all the workforce. Third is motivation and engagement. For that, we have gone to the old school method where we were engaging with employees on a one-to-one basis to know what challenges they are facing, what problems they are facing, and how we can, help them. Especially employees when they are working remotely. It's not easy to, work remotely, and suddenly, nobody was expecting this. COVID-19 is not only a complicated problem, but it's also a very complex situation. Nobody was anticipating this, and suddenly, one night we got, oh, there's a lockdown and you have to work from your home, and people who were not adept with technology, they just learn in so quickly to adapt the whole change, and that affected them a lot. So we have worked hard to engage our employees to keep them motivated throughout. And last but not the least, the mental well-being. This is one area which we were struggling a lot, and we were not sure how we can make sure that the workforce they are not under stress, or if they are under stress, are we addressing it correctly or not? And I was like really, clueless about that. I'll be very upfront, very honest with that, like how we can do that. So I discussed with one of my friends who is a CEO in one of the startups in Bangalore. It's a company called Loyaltix, and they deal into market analytics. So I was just discussing with him. I told him, like, see, I want to know, like, my employees who are working with me, they are if they're facing any problem, they are under stress. How we can, handle with them. And he gave me a very good solution. He said, like, Irfan, first you're doing like a good job. You're talking to them one-to-one. But what you can do, there are lots of NGOs who are working on this. And plus there are some portals. There are some companies who are counseling the employees in these times. And he suggested one website, which was called yourdost.com. Those which means in India for non-Hindi speaking attendees here, yourdost.com, what they do, they interact with your employees and they keep the whole data, all the information very anonymous. I, as a head of a division or somebody who is a CEO, will never get to know what or who is contacting them. And they discuss with them, then they counsel them if they are facing any situation and they have problems in front of them, and they give solutions. And that was a brilliant idea, which we have adopted as well. So these are like some of the challenges and some of the solutions that we worked upon. But what I have realized that, and what Dr. Mario has also highlighted, the learning, like we have to, be very quick learner. And as we say, this is an age of what we call like survival of the fittest. It's not only survival of the fittest, it is survival of the quickest. Just remember, it is the survival of the quickest. We have to anticipate, we have to foresee what is happening. And this COVID-19 situation has taught us a lot. It's a big deal, not only for HR or for marketing, but across as a human. And I strongly believe what Dr. Bhavna said, that don't panic with the technology. Technology is there to help us. Okay, it is not taking the job from us. It is creating a job. It's just that we need to modify our skill set, right? And change is the only constant. We always talk, but it's a very cliche thing. But sometimes cliches are the best way to quote. So change is the only constant, and we have to learn to adapt things very quickly, be it technology or be it anything. So right now in this situation, the first and the foremost thing is to survive and to revive ourselves. To survive, revive, and then evolve. Okay, so we need to evolve also, change the mindset, what Dr. Bhavna was talking, was Mr. Arvind was talking. Okay, so that's from my side. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Biju.
Thank you, Irfan. Wonderful. So you started with saying that organizational survival is the most important, and then you summarized it saying that survive, revive, and evolve. So that has been wonderful. And you talked about, like, basically from the HR point of view, is that how do we keep the well-being of our workforce? That's the most important thing at this point of time, when we see, and you set out an example of the creating the bubble, and how to see that we minimize this kind of an impact of the situation on a negative impact of the situation on the organization. And wonderful. So we all have been hearing about this what we call this the environment bubble, or things in IPL, also in the European League also, and that has become a buzzword, I think. And now this has been very, very cleverly utilized by the organization also. And that is I think now this is the time where I see in this pandemic, or in this particular situation, crisis situation, it's not only the HR people. I think the whole team has come together to see that how we can survive and how we can revive and how we can evolve. So I think that is the very important aspect, that that how we started that. Now HR has come to a center stage. It's because everyone is now together, and that's why I think we see that HR is also there, because we realize that the most important thing is our people, because if they are good, they will be good. it's so wonderful that our three panelists are in different part of the world, but they are all coming together to the same point. The first, if you see the Bhavna, she said that the mindset of the leader is most important, and she said that it is important for us need to change the mindset of the people. We should be keep ready. Our organization should be ready, and that's where Irfan also says that we need to survive first, then we need to revive, and then we need to evolve. And I think for the evolve that part, and that is where the Dr. Mario has been saying that, it's a learning. Evolving means learning. So you need to learn when you are doing. You need to learn from the context, from the environment where we are working. And that's what Dr. Mario has been saying. And I totally see that, the whole panelists are, even though they are in different part of the world, but they are talking what a similar language. And I think this is what the HR Summit has tried to do by bringing people from different parts of the world, but trying to say that, yes, this is what the most important. The people are the most important in the organization, and they are the one who should be taken care of. And for them, no one has prepared, no one was prepared for this particular kind of pandemic situation. For that, the organization has to learn, and they have to learn from their experience. They have to learn while doing, because as Irfan was saying, that they had created this bubble for the or for the delivery boys or the delivery people. Now, I think if they learn something more, they will change the pattern again. So that's what evolving, learning and evolving, and that's what our Dr. Mario was also hinting out that this is something very, very important, and that is at the micro level. I think that's what he was indicating, micro level and at the macro level. So macro level is what preparing to change. The leaders need to be prepared to change the change in the organization that is required, and I think this is something the most important aspect at this juncture of this situation, the challenges that we face. That organizations need to, or the HR strategy should be to be evolving. And that is what I was thinking, that, thinking organization, the organization which thinks, they are the one only who will survive, and they are the one who will, evolve. If they cannot think and to make this particular environment, and it is not only the job of the HR, but the whole environment in the organization to create this particular environment. So thank you, all the panelists here who have been contributing, who had contributed so wonderfully. I don't know how much time I have left for this panel discussion. If there is any queries, maybe I will take that, and that will be the way to then, if there is any queries, which one of the query was there, which Irfan took, basically, where he pointed out that HR is not anymore sidelined, rather they are the center stage. And that's what I also have commented. So this is what the experience that even a public sector organization like mine, an educational institution, and a state-owned university also had to face. In this pandemic situation, we definitely had to struggle a lot, not only to start the classes online, but the most important thing was, how do I change the evaluation pattern, which we had been following a very standard set of evaluation in the past many years. But when we wanted to change, our structure was not ready, our people were not ready. So definitely, I think the HR has the strategy where they make the environment in which everyone think positively and towards solving and creating an environment where they can be successful. The organization, they can be successful. So I don't see any question, because yeah. So I think we are good enough to thank all our panelists once again. I would like to thank also our chair of this HR meet for giving this wonderful time, for giving me the opportunity to moderate the wonderful panelists here. So thank you once again, and thank you all the panelists, and thank you all the members who are here listening to us and participating in our discussion. Thank you once again. And I hand it over to Sept.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Viju.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you, teachers.
Yeah.
Thank you, dignitaries, for sharing your wonderful experiences and real-time examples. We would like to present you with the token of our gratitude. Dr. Biju Kumar Thapalia.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Bhavna Nigam. Dr. Mario B. Curatolo, Mr. Irfan Ali Khan. Thank you. It's time now to have the first plenary session by Mr. Prasanna Kuthe, but let me first introduce him to all of you. Mr. Prasanna Kuthe is the Vice President HR in Avignon India Private Limited. He is a dedicated and resourceful senior HR professional with 22 years of experience in varied industries in strategic human resource, interventions, talent management, employee engagement, change management, talent acquisition, and HR operations. He is a trusted advisor to leadership, an employee advocate, and a change enabler. Mr. Kuthe received his MBA in HR from Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, Pune. He also holds a diploma in training and development. Avignon India Private Limited, a subsidiary of Avignon Inc., specializes in engineering, geospatial, and IT devices and products that optimize data visualizations, usability, and effectiveness for government and commercial customers. I now hand over the stage to Mr. Prasanna Kuthe.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A very good evening to all of you, all panelists here. Thank you, Dr. Premi, for inviting me. Thank you, Dr. Monica, and all other organizers of this conclave. Indeed, it's a pleasure for all of us, because we have been for the last couple of months, we have been only, kind of tied up to our rooms and our offices. But these kind of conferences is actually, help for us to really interact with fellow professionals. And this is the reality of life now. We are going to be this way for many more years now. So, well, thank you very much once again. I believe it's a very apt topic the Institute has chosen, and I think given the current context of Corona and the way kind of things are, I think it's a very, very important topic that you guys have picked up, and I really congratulate Dr. Monica, for choosing this as a topic, and I think very, very essential topic. I have two interests in today's presenting and sharing my thoughts. One is I learned from all of you, and I share my thoughts. So definitely the session so far that we had has always been very inspirational. I heard Dr. Kurato speaking about, I heard Irfan, I heard about other panelists. Very wonderful session, and I think very, very insightful discussions we had. Gaining knowledge is the first step to the wisdom, but I believe sharing is the first step to the humanity. And I think all of HR professionals will really agree that it's all about sharing, it's all about learning together, and that's the only way how a community grows and a nation grows. Okay. Now I'm supposed to speak on how the resurgence of HR will happen as we return back to the office in a couple of days, maybe January, February. We really do not know what is that magic date or magic month when we will be back in office. But yes, hope is life, and it's all about hoping we're coming back. But preparedness is another important aspect of it. I wanted to share my thoughts about how the HR's role is going to change in the coming period when we are back in office. But I thought, if I only talk about HR as a subject, then I'm only talking about a pain and a painkiller. I'm not talking about a diagnostic, where it is really coming from. And I think if I'm not talking about how the whole scenario of work, leadership, people, HR practices, it's all changed, and therefore how HR has to do things differently, I think I'm not going to do a justice to the subject. So what I intend to do in the next couple of minutes those allocated to me, probably give you my perspective of how things have changed for us in the last 6 months. I remember 23rd March was the date when we left our office to home, and since then we have been working home. And what we have experienced is last 6 months, I have never experienced in my 23 years of my career. Okay. So that has been a learning potential I had, and I thought probably we should review, how we have seen those changes, and how then probably HR now can play a role, and maybe I can specifically talk about what is that we have done, in COVID times in Avignon, which has kind of helped our employee. And I'm sure students would be more keen on knowing how we have responded as an organization to some of these changes. Okay. So let me probably put some perspective about the work that has kind of changed. And I think the biggest piece this corona has helped us is to break some of the myths about work. Traditionally, we have been thinking of work is something that needs to be done only from office. I think it has bursted it. IT industry was privileged to anyway work from home. But I think now there are several other industries who have realized that work can still happen without an office. You don't have to have an office to really do it. I think that has fundamentally challenged the way people used to look at work. Second biggest myth which is corona has broken is, okay, people really work very good under supervision. They need to be supervised. They need to be monitored. They need to be controlled. And I think corona has broken that. People are working from home. And to a great extent, and I'm sure my fellow professionals will agree, that productivity levels have been either same or higher. I haven't had a great complaint from many organizations that they have said, oh, no, our productivity is very bad because we're working from home. No, people have adjusted it well. It's been now 6 months that we are working from home. And I think life is back. Life is okay. People are, working from home. And they are working very effectively. So I think that's the second myth which has corona has broken. And we have been traditionally thinking that work means office, and office means supervision, and supervision means control. And then only the results. I think we have broken that. Slowly, we are also kind of thinking from work from the standpoint of, how do we really measure work? Now, we were only talking about the number of hours versus productivity. Okay, 8 hours is equivalent of that much productivity. I think those lines are, it is not about number of hours now. It is more about, okay, what are you delivering finally? Are you delivering in the morning or you're delivering in the evening? It doesn't matter. It is not about 9 to 6. It wasn't anyway anymore, except for the government organization. For corporate, it was never 9 to 5. And I always tell my, young student that, you should wear a watch, but it is only for the fashion. If you are in a corporate, that watch has no meaning. Okay? You should never look at your watch and say, no, it's 6 and I'm going to go home. I mean, watches is only for fashion. So the whole scenario, the way people probably look at work has undergone a change now. Okay, the lines have blurred between day and night, morning and evening, 8 hours versus 10 hours, nothing. It's just deliverables, productivity and a comfort of working. Now, at the same time, what we have realized as a leader in an organization, and the way we have seen this corona, challenging us is one. We have to continue. I think the biggest challenge that the leadership now these days is facing is we have to continue, but we have to also change. Corona has pushed up. Your sustenance has to be there, but also you should have that ability to really change. And if we don't change, probably we will perish. And we have practically seen that. It has been a great management talk that a stagnant water does not yield anything. But now it's the reality that if we don't change, we are going to perish. So the biggest challenge as a leaders today we have is we have to continue and we also have to change at the same time. Building strategies has been focus for all of us as the leadership of the organization, but I think it is getting complex. Strategies, with experience it came, but now building strategies in a more complex environment. I think that's one of the key competencies we have to really build as a leader. Corona has taught us a new normal, digital office, working from home, virtual connect, virtual meetings, virtual collaboration. So it's all become a virtual world. So truly, there's the biggest joke that goes on the internet is who has transformed your company? Is it your CEO, CFO, or CTO? The answer is it's Corona who transformed your company. None of these guys. Okay. So in reality, yes, the new normal has to be accepted and we have to learn to live it. Okay. The biggest challenge I see as the leaders for us is we have to manage our present and also take care of our future. This is also a great opportunity that we have. It's a golden opportunity that we have, that we transform the cultures that we have. We have been only good at talking that change is inevitable. We have to do it, change management, different models around it. But I think it is the reality now that you have this chance, you have this golden hour when you can really transform your organization. We have spoken enough about VUCA world, and I'm sure all of, for my younger participants here, you are aware that, vulnerability, complexity, ambiguity. But I think there is a new definition to VUCA now. It is not about those. VUCA we have lived. We talked about it, we have lived it. But I think now the new VUCA is about having a vision, having an understanding, having a clarity, and having an agility. I think that's the new VUCA we have to embrace. Forget about the old and the last outdated VUCA, which is going to be there. We never expected that Corona will come one fine day. But now what we have to deal with is a new VUCA, which is about visioning, understanding, clarity, and agility. From a leadership standpoint, I always feel that, people talk about recovery now, people talk about V-shaped recovery, W-shaped recovery, or U-shaped recovery. I mean, those are some of the talks which we keep on doing. And none of us have a concrete answer to it as to how the recovery is going to be. But the only thing that we knew, and now we know, is this is an opportunity for us to recreate the game plan. If you have been operating your organization in a particular way, now here is your golden opportunity to really change, rewrite the games, rewrite the rules of the game that you want to play. I think that's fundamental to every organization. This is a golden opportunity for all of us. I have personally experienced that a lot of things are kind of changing in the organization. The way people, visualize the work and life, I think that has undergone a shift. Now people have learned to differentiate work life, home life. I think that's a relation. People in their 50s are wondering, okay, 10 years are left, what will I contribute and retire? People in 20s, Corona has taught them that, okay, there's no guarantee of anything. Contribute, be successful, make it. And people in 40s are saying, okay, now probably last 15, 20 years, I will make a difference and I'll move on. So I think Corona has given that opportunity for us to really put that mirror in front of and say, what is that I really want? And I think, thanks to this pandemic, you have to see the silver line that it has given a lot of realization to a lot of people. Okay, and I think that's how a generation change, that's how working professionals change, and that's how an industry change. I think we have to understand it from the standpoint of an HR. I think this is the complexity. This is how the work kind of has changed. This is how the leadership can be. And now when I come and talk about HR, I think definitely HR has a lot that it can do in terms of how it can really research and help the organization. The first and biggest thing that I feel is pandemic has been very disruptive. And I personally feel that, HR should get even more disruptive with this pandemic, because pandemic has given us that opportunity. And I think it is the time to really change, challenge, and accept, and put forward things which you feel in larger interest of the organization. And I'm sure the leadership will be more amenable to listening to it, because it is in the interest, and it's in a dark hole. We are all wading through and hoping that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I think this is a golden opportunity for us to really bring that change, change certain things, challenge certain things, because now leadership is more reasonable. Leadership is willing to accept certain things. Leadership is willing to listen to certain things. Second thing, in the past, probably when in a typical HR journey, whenever probably you would have gone with a great idea to your CEO or CFO, he would have probably pushed it back, saying, no, we will see. When it comes to time, okay, or probably not this year or next year, the budgets are very tight, or we'll take it next year or something like that. But I think Corona is giving us HR professionals that time now to really push the envelope and bring changes in the organization, change the appraisal system, change the attendance management system, change the redundant system in the organization. And I think it will be more acceptable. It will not be unnamed. It will be more accommodative at this point in time if you bring changes. Otherwise, when the situations are very normal, there's always intellectual debates around it. Right now is the time when you say, okay, let's do these things, and that's how we'll safeguard your future of the organization. Never ever in my career, of course, I've been part of a couple of HR forums, many conferences, many countries, many companies I have worked, but never ever there was this opportunity where all HRs have come together, and now it's the time that we start talking about community. We get connected as a community. Because earlier, if you would have gone and asked any other HR professional, gentlemen, can you share me your leave policy? He would have cited you an example of, No, it's very confidential, it's very proprietary, and it's very customized to our requirement. Now is the time when all HR professionals are coming together and talking, gentlemen, how are you going to manage your business? What are you doing there? Okay, is there something that I can learn from you? Can you pass on some information to me? How are you managing 50% work from home? Are there some best practices? I think pandemic has brought HR professionals together than ever before. Resurgence, yes, I think definitely a very, very important point. And I think from the standpoint of managing after coming back to office, the biggest question that HR should be asking themselves is, do you really have the right kind of leaders who will manage the change which you will embrace after coming back to office? Is it the time? Is it the time that you should be doing something about them? Are you really going to prepare the leaders for tomorrow? Okay. And I think once you prepare these leaders for tomorrow, your journey after the second phase of COVID, when you're back in office, will be much more smoother. Because fact is going to remain that we are not going to have these plush offices. While I'm talking to you from the office, my half of the office I'm hiving off at the same point in time. There's a shifting work happening outside of this office. Okay, that's the reality of life. We have just left with half office. We don't need half of the employees are permanently going to work from home. It will be only on rotations they will come to office. Okay, so these are certain realities. And the biggest question that we are asking is, then if we were never used to working from home, our managers were not even enabled to manage a workforce which works remotely, are we really preparing them? Okay, and therefore we are taking certain initiatives that we are. Biggest piece I feel how HR can really partner is, and I spoke about the recovery, and there have been huge talks about how much Corona has impacted India, whether our economy has gone back for 5 years, or it has gone back 10 years, or is it 3 quarters ahead or 4 quarters ahead? There hasn't been numerous talks about how it will. But one thing for sure, which we have to realize, and HR has to take a step forward in that, is we are going to have job losses. That is for sure. And employees are not now worried about really whether how much you engage or how much you disengage with them. They are worried about, are we secured enough? Am I going to lose a job? Okay, where is that confidence going to come from? And biggest piece is that people do know, they do read, they are well educated, they are well aware, at least the new generation. The biggest role HR is going to play is, yes, there will be exits, there will be measures that we will have to take to really cut down and make business profitable. Because unless business is profitable, it will not go. If it does not go, the new employment opportunities are not going to come. So HR has to play that role of making sure that if there is an extra fab in the organization, we have to cut it out. And we have to cut it out in a human way. We have to plan for processes which will ensure the smooth exit of an employee. We have to give him time. We have to give him coaching, counseling. We have to reskill him. We have to see if he can be redeployed. I think those are some of the things which are going to matter in 2021 when we come back to office, because recovery may happen in any shape in the organization. Because if you stop an industry from curtailing, the industry does not grow. It doesn't remain profitable. If it doesn't remain profitable, it does not generate employment. If it does not generate employment, no campus, no employment. As simple as it is. You got to take care and make sure that it helps. Digital works, yes, I do. I'm a firm believer of an engagement. Yes, because these days we are not getting that kind of opportunity to really connect with employees and talk to them and be associated with them. Now, the question that HR will have to answer is, how do we really engage everybody together on a digital platform? What are some of the things? How do we really keep them motivated? How do we constantly connect them to the purpose that we have? And how do we really align them with the shifting goals of an organization? We talked about technology. Shweta, I guess, talked about technology, how it can help in our organization. But I also believe that, yes, the pandemic has pushed us to adopt lot more technology, but it is also a human element to it. Technology is only an enabler. It will only help you to do things better, but you cannot replace the human touch. So touch and the tech has to work together. Then only it can become a great success story. Otherwise, it is all in isolation. Inspiring, educating, motivating, core function of an HR. I think that HR will have to continue to do There is no option for it. I was reading an interesting article on roles of an HR, and it kind of carved out in terms of next 10 years, which are those roles which are going to come up. So we have seen the HR changing from managing your transactions to the legal compliances to becoming a business partner on the table and developing business acumen and help partnership with the business. I mean, that is now going to change. And further, I was just reading and very inspirational to see there will be roles like director of employee well-being. I mean, it could be a very specialized role. There could be a behavioral coach role in the organization who keeps coaching people to change behavior. There could be chief purpose officer or chief purpose planner who looks at your processes from a human angle. It brings that intellect into the entire process of the human side of the story. To me, HR's role, yeah, I mean, there has been a lot of literature, there has been a lot of debate, there has been a lot of arguments about how HR can do things. I think fundamental role of HR is like a mother. Okay, you can change the kitchen, you can modify the kitchen, but mother's role does not change. Okay, she will always be the mother. Okay, I think HR has to do with empathy. HR has to embrace the technology, and HR has to really think forward and help. I think that's where the HR is going to make a difference. Okay. Now, from the standpoint of Avignon, we did a whole lot of things, and I thought maybe it would help students to really realize how probably we help. How HR can really partner, and some of the initiatives that we have taken in Avignon. One, when this pandemic came, and we were kind of a month and a half in the pandemic, our biggest realization was that our employees are kind of more prone to getting these infections or contracting corona. And we had a regular general medical insurance for them. We got an additional Corona Kavach policy for them. We covered all employees. We covered all kids of an employee. We covered spouses of employees. We covered employees who were under ESI. So about 1,100 plus employees, we covered them under Corona Kavach policy. Okay, so that's one thing we did during this time. Second thing, we did a learning platform for our employees, because this is time when you are at home. You have that time and luxury and flexibility. So we created an e-learning platform for our employees, and we continue to load learning material on it, and we allowed employees to really take the courses that they want at their own convenience, because now they get the time. Sessions from work from, because we were never used to this kind of situation. Out of blue, suddenly in 2 days you just start go home and start working. Traditionally you are a people leader and you have people working under you, and you're able to walk up to them and talk. So we started conducting sessions in terms of how do we really manage from work from home in the virtual world. What are some of the basics? So we did that education session for them. Employee Connect was one thing, because in office it was all different celebrations were there, different occasions were there where we could speak to employee, we could engage them in a group, but that wasn't possible. So we kind of got together. Another important action we took, we signed up with a telemedicine company so that employee does not have to go out of home. He's still able to really get himself tested or consulted if there is an emergency in the night. We signed for ambulance services for them, where in the middle of the night, if there is an emergency, they are able to really just call a number and ambulance gets to their door within 15 minutes. We tied up with multiple hospitals in Hyderabad, reserving bed for us for a priority treatment for our employees. The biggest learning that we had is preparedness is everything. And I think we had one sad instance where we lost an employee, and that's where we really went ahead and we involved family members through various sessions on how do you really prepare for an emergency. Right from preparing your hospital bag to downloading your Corona Kavach cards to having a copy of Aadhaar card on their phone. We prepared our employees for it. I think the list is ongoing, and it is still we are constantly looking at different ways how we can really improve. But the way I see the real resurgence of HR is going to come is through partnership and being more proactive, embracing technology, and being that real advocate and employee when he's been a trouble time. Okay, so those were my 2 cents, I believe. Thank you very much again. Wonderful meeting all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prasanna.
Very nice session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for sharing your wonderful experiences and real-time examples. We would like to present you with the token of our gratitude. It's time now to have the second plenary session by Mr. Tanka Prasad Bhattarai, but let me first introduce him to all of you. Mr. Tanka Prasad Bhattarai is the Vice President HR in Shankar Group. He received his master's in business studies from International Business and Organizational Development. He holds the experience of corporate trainer in various manufacturing and non-manufacturing industries. He is also the president at Human Capital Development Professionals, Nepal. Shankar Group is the leading manufacturer of PVC plastic pipe and garden pipes and water storage tanks. They offer the highest quality products in the industry. I now hand over the stage to Mr. Tanka Prasad Bhattarai.
Thank you. Thank you, Seta. It's audible and visible to me?
Yeah, of course, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, organizer. It's a wonderful session. I'm fully participate here. I'm really amazing participation and insightful session over here. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Monica, Dr. Premi, and Bishesha sir. And it's a wonderful time to be here. And so I'm just here. I have prepared some slides, so I'm just sharing you, and I will take. I have given a 20-minute time. Based on the time, I would share you. Just a minute. It's visible right now.
Yes, it is very much visible.
Okay. It's my pleasure. It's my honor as an invitation for being a great guest speaker on 6th International HR Summit HumanOurce 2020. Theme Resurgence of HR from GHS-IMR India in association with Noble Academy Pokhara. I have prepared some outline here. I'm considering most of the speaker already talk about the issue. However, I have prepared some slides over here. I will talk. My outlines will be evolution and transformation of HR competency to be succeed, resurgence of HR. The short theme I have given here: performance management, HR and technology, people analytics, corporate learning, and employee well-being. So, I'm starting here. According to the Michael Dale, 85% of job in 2030 is still not even been invented here. So we can forecast the thing of HR, how it will be more dynamic, and we have to think the different angle. So education and skill set not yet decided, whereas Forbes says 75% of the company going to be disappear from the current space by 2025. So 50% of the future company is not started yet. So we have in the VUCA, volatile, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity world, where our graduates should be hunter, not just a planter or farmer. So thinking the current scenario, top issues on employees' mind, I'm showing here, based on the just Bersin, top issue were the financial security, just seen here 81%, health and well-being 56%, family 25%, and productivity works 24%. So the issue of employee minds is gradually changing right now. According to the DAP outreach, evolution of the organization, how the organization is forming and evolved here. is that initially we were in the bureaucracy hierarchy and bureaucracy modes, and next one is the system alignment. We are in the system alignment. And next one, we have to move to the capability of identity. We have to build up the capability of the employees or the human resources. Then after, we have to move in the market oriented. What the exactly market want, what the people want, what the society want. Based on that, the evolution of the organization is gradually from the bureaucracy to the ecosystem model. So I think this is just working here, and in fact, the global scenario will definitely impact our organization as well. Like comparing the structure of the organization form, the evolution of the HR department, from the HR design to the victory through the organization success. Like do we have the right HR organization? Yes, there is a HR design. Does our HR department change to meet our needs? That means that we are in the transforming phase. And does our HR department deliver value? So the next stage, the HR department has to deliver the value to the employees, human resources, organization, or society. Similarly, the HR has to deliver from the outside to in, from the customer to the investor. And at the last in the phase, this evolution to the HR department has to create a sustainable organization capability. We have to develop the sustainable way, not so that we have to go in the victory through the organization. So it is at last we reach in the HR criteria and assessment. So similarly, HR industry evolved from the HR industry revolution from the 18th century, from steam-based machine to the second industry revolution is electrical and energy-based mass production. Third industry revolution from the first transformation revolution, late 20th century. We are in the computer and the internal based knowledge. And last, we are in the fourth evolution. This is the AI, artificial intelligence and information technology. And already lots of talk from the keynote speaker. This is the very big data in the cloud, and based on the data, the decision making will be carried out. So what are the HR competency we need to succeed? Means we have the, according to the Dave Aldrich, the paradox and navigators, and there is the fundamental foundational enablers, core drivers, and strategic enablers. Based on the foundational enablers, have the compliance managers, analytics design and the interpreter, technology and integrator. Like the core driver has the strategic positioner, credible activist, and strategic enablers means the culture and the culture and change and the champion, human capital curator, and total reward stream. So in this way, the paradox navigator will be gradually exactly HR competency we need to succeed. Those types of navigators we have to evolve and transfer, and definitely this type of activities, and this has been gradually we have to make a competence and do ahead. And emerging HR competency, just like as a gradually informative asymmetry, HR helps an organization acquire, analyze, act, or information to make better decision, because this is the age of the information system. Without proper information, we cannot go ahead. The exact and proper information is required. And next one is a separate signal, and HR has to recognize and focus on what matter is the most important. So this has to be done from the HR angle, HR department. Definitely, HR has to be beyond description to prescription to offer guidance on the right talent, leadership, organization, HR, and HR has to make a proper guidance, and we have to make a proper guidance to the talent and leadership, and we have to make a proper offer and guidance. And anticipatory solution, HR responds quickly to opportunity and challenges to create an anticipatory scenario that can be quickly implemented. And at last, the emerging competency for the HR will be the social citizenship, and HR helps the organization citizenship issues around planet, people, political change, philanthropy, and the purpose for creation. So these are the emerging HR competency, and even we have this competency has been emerged, and we have to execute it in this way. So based on the World Economic Forum, definitely we can see observe here the top 10 skills also indicate how we have to move ahead. So if we compare here in 2050, in 2020 and 2030, in 2020 judgmental decision making was the 7th position, and the right in it will be in the 2030, it will be judgmental decision will be in the 1st position. And plenty of ideas, definitely our academic system, our thought system, our we have to focus on the enhancement of the skill development, and we have to drive our human capital and human resources, or we have to drive our universities, college to make an enhance in this type of skill development. So active learning strategy, originality, system evaluation, and we have to focus in how we have to focus gradually in the 2030. Based on that skill, just we can see that the scenario of the HR and the requirement definitely will be changing scenario. So I will be share something about the core sub-theme of the resurgence of HR, performance management. Due to the pandemic scenario, the performance management system slightly changes. Most of the organization has set the KPI and a goal setting, but exactly due to the pandemic situation, and we have to read it. Definitely, we have to think the different angle, focus on the contribution right now, not only the performance. So our employee has to be contributed to the organization. We have to only performance, because the current situation, we have to take care of our employee in the high manner. We have to ensure us in the safety and health consciousness. So similarly, in the performance management context, we have to adjust the agenda to check in conversation to acknowledge new realities. Based on the new realities, we have to discuss to our employees individual basis what is the issues, what is the problem. We have to talk each and individual, and based after talking them, we have to implement it based on the individual requirement as well. So we never only focus in that personal, not focus on performance. So we have to, even in the situation, the enable flexible goal setting. Hello, it's audible. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have enable a flexible goal setting, and similarly, the help employees prioritize through the short circle of planning. So we have not think about the long-term planning. We have to plan thinking the short cycle. So short-term planning as well. So due to the current situation, pandemic situation, definitely each and every organization have to think in this way. Not only we have never stick to the goal KPI KRA. So if not think, then we cannot manage our human capital right now. So definitely this pandemic has thinking the way of thinking, the way of pattern right now. So just I'm sharing some HR and technology context, and definitely we have lots of the contents and agenda has been talked on the HR and technology. It is the age of the EI and digitalization. Even we have lots of emerging things, the e-learning. Even we have this type, we are doing the e-learning, and lots of e-learning is emerging here, and everything in the human resource management system. Most of the organization definitely we have to think how we can digitalize transformation system, and each and every one has thinking to way the digitalize the system. So just I'm sharing here the concept, the current situation, not only the current situation, gradually the world has been changing to the digitalized era. So currently the organization is the boundaryless organization. That's what this is, the open sharing, peering and sharing. This is the limitless digitalization. This is the data-driven culture. We have it has been emerging here. Here is the unbounded innovation. The innovation is open here. Everyone can innovate here, and the diverse and inclusive culture here. Retailless integration, and this is the fail fast culture. This is time of the robot, and robot is always work without tried-less effort and continuous effort. This is so the changing scenario. That's very very is very smartly the changing the EIA changing more than our expectation. Right now, the pandemic has to think more than our expectation. Like is the based on the thing, the leadership of the new leadership competency also changing due to the changing of the AI. So boundaryless organization means the as a leader should be network leader. The leader has to develop like the network leader. Similarly, limitless digitalization means we have to make a leader sense-making leader, and unbounded innovation means we have to make a leader. We have to create a leader like a design leader. Relentless integration means we have to make an agile leader, more flexible leader. So even based on the changing scenario, even the competency of the leadership also have to change, gradually change here. So how HR needs to transform here. The digital organization has gradually the organized digital organization driving the workforce. Even the workforce is the developing or digital ready worker and the organization. Every organization has to make a ready their employees ready. Workforce make their ready. We have to develop our employees in the digital ready, and we have to train them. Similarly, the workplace also digitalized. Automation has been increased, empowering and connecting the workforce with the modern digital experiences. Like as the digital HR means we have to make an HR system. At driving the how HR delivers service to the business. The totally HR system also has to be digitalized. Initially, we have to work the number of people in the HR department. So right now, 1 or 2, 3 people have to drive the HR department with the digitalized activities and digitalized platform. So I'm sharing here some changes due to HR and technology. So HR technology has to be the forefront to enable remote work management, minimize the productivity loss, and enable outcome-based collaboration. This is needed for both service and manufacturing. Demand for technology in HR see 30% hike during pandemic. HR technology in HR see 30% hike during pandemic. Demand for the mobile-based live session on pre-recorded session have grown by almost 40 to 50%. AI-enabled chatbots are being used on such platform to also answer any pandemic-related queries, to even nudging employee to finish work within the deadline. So you have to complete. It has to be completed within the given deadlines. And HR technology which now drive organization strategy. Hello.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Okay, please. Just HR technology which now drive organization strategy and culture, and not just experience and processes. So in the context of the Nepal, even we have the 21% of home in Nepal have started to use internet, social media apps, or digital platforms. So gradually we are increasing the way of HR technology, digital technology, and we are highly immersed over here. So people, and in terms of the people and analytics, just I am sharing here in the context of the people and analytics. Definitely this is the era of the digital era. Everyone has agree here, and HR department is the core department, heart of the department, and everyone has to respect. Without the HR department, no one can think of any organization today. So we have to make a proper analytics. People analytics is so important. So without the analytics of the people, without the making the competent people, we cannot move ahead. So the analytics is most important. So every aspect of the people, like is absenteeism, overtime, training cost, overall labor efficiency cost, we have to analyze here. And it will make a decision making more easy to the employees and organization, even to the HR department. Similarly, just I'm showing here the dashboard for the people and like we have to loss of count, head count, or higher turnover cost, turnover rate, promotion rate, gender distribution, or people perform turnover trend, etc. It has been the just we have to just analyze each and everything on the aspect of the people, human capital, and based on the analysis, we have to make a decision how the organization is running, how the people are working here, how people are trained here, how many people are working over there, what is the turnover rate. So each and every aspect we can do here. Just I am sharing here the 14 HR metrics, just for example. So each and every, this is the emerging thing that we have to analyze, and people analytics over here, we have to analyze the thing, and lots of activities, lots of HR department can play a crucial role, minimize the cost-effective solution, making it we are entering in the digital era. So we have to analyze the major metrics I mentioned here. This type of metrics we have to analyze and do. Last, this is the time that the corporate learning over here. This is the emerging concept in the corporate learning over here, because without the learning and sharing is so important. This is the, we have already talked. This is the boundaryless organization, boundaryless era, and we can learn in here. And the student from the defense college can join to the corporate organization, and then can learn, and they can learn in the practical way, they can apply, and they can take feedback and reflect to the organization exactly. So there is the learning process, and this is the corporate learning also emerging here in Nepal as well. I think this is the two-way learning process. Not only the student has to develop based on the gap of the organization requirement, and lots of graduates due to the changing of the external environment, we have to make our human capital, make our upcoming generation make ready based on our organization requirement. So the corporate learning is moving from push to pull, from classroom to workplace right now. So corporate learning is so important. So we have to highly focus the corporate learning in the Nepalese context of the Nepal. Corporate learning is highly emerging over here. So at last, I'm talking about the employee well-being, and the employee well-being is the major concern today. Due to the pandemic situation, everyone has definitely thinking about the employee well-being. Without the employee well-being, we cannot go move ahead, because human resource and human capital are the most important factor over here. So I have just seeing here, I'm showing this, and so why I am just presenting here data. Why invest in employee well-being means what is the importance to invest in employee well-being? Because to 31.9% is said that to improve the employee engagement, if we can take care of the employee for the employee well-being, definitely 31.9% will be improved the employee engagement over here. Similarly, 28.6% will be to reduce the sickness absences, and this is I have shown the data. I will share the data in the slide later on, so I cannot expand here. So that the employee well-being is so important, so everyone has to take care. And the next one I'm sharing here, configuration of employees roles post-COVID. Even here is the definitive after post-COVID, I have taken a data from the survey, and that the change workplace safety measures and requirement. 77% of the data has changed, said that change workplace safety measure and requirement. So definitely the importance of the well-being is gradually higher in the site. Without taking and caring of the employees, we cannot move ahead. That's why I'm sharing here. And the reason why we are investing in the well-being means, just I mentioned here, that if we investing in the employee well-being, it will be definitely increase the staff satisfaction, staff morale, staff retention, increase the productivity, absenteeism, relationship between the staff and the management, increase the open communication. It will lower the cost, and it will be towards a more sustainable workforce, because our last aim is to make the workforce more sustainable. So I have completed my presentation. Hello. I have completed my presentation almost based on the given time. How much time I have taken here? Thank you very much once again, all of you, for the given the opportunity. Thank you, all of you. If you have any questions, I'll be here.
That was wonderful, Tankaji. That's very nice.
Thank you, sir. Can I stop here?
Yeah, sure.
Amazing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much. How much time taken? I am not sure. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
1 minute earlier than the time. Sir, thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, sir. If you have any queries in the perspective of Nepal, I'm ready to share you. Basically, we have followed the Western culture in the HR practice, and we have followed the Indian practice as well. So, if you have any queries in the context of the Nepal, I'm ready to share you. I'm ready to share you, sir, if you have any queries. And even Nepal has, in the context of the HR, we are gradually enhancing, improving over here. So, however, the context and the culture is carried from the international context, and gradually we are improving over here. And we are in the HR department is evolving, and even some of the organizations are operating in the Nepalese context in the international standard over here, because we have the multinational company over here, and even we are a local company. And I have been already working in the Unilever, a multinational company, and I have worked in the Subiso IT company as well. And I am right now leading I am just working in the manufacturing service industry. And you have initially told me that this is the steel manufacturing company. Our company is major focus on the steel manufacturing company, cement manufacturing company right now. This is not plastic manufacturing company. I think the data has been wrong here. I'm working in one of the largest steel manufacturing company, Jagatama Steel, and second one is one of the largest cement manufacturing company here. This is called the Riddhi Cement and Saurya Cement in Nepal. So, likewise, we have I think you have the sole distributor of TVS Motors over here. TVS Motors. Okay. These are the major. We are involved in every sector, 16 sectors here. Even if we are working in the FMCG as well. So, if you have any queries, even I am leading here. If I can share any experience, if you are ready, then what's the time here? I don't know.
I think time is a real paucity out here, so we do not have time. That's the thing. We have to go ahead with the award ceremony and also benediction. So definitely we'll be in touch, and all those who would like to interact with you, we can share your email ID and they can do it at that time.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity. I'll be here, and based on time constant, I am speaking more faster than this. And thank you all of you. See you again. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your knowledge. We would like to present you with a token of our gratitude. We shall now begin with our next session of paper presentation by one of the students of GHS-IMR, Shreya Nigam, on the topic, Significance of Artificial Intelligence in Reinventing Human Resources. I hand over the stage to Shreya.
Good evening, everyone. Is the PPT visible?
No.
No, Shreya.
Okay.
Is it now?
Yes.
It's present.
Yes. Okay. Good evening, everyone present here. Today, I, Shreya Nigam, is here to present my research on the topic Significance of Artificial Intelligence in Reinventing Human Resources. Talking about the variables of my research, artificial intelligence and human resource management, AI is a wide-ranging branch of computer science concerned with building smart machines which are capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. Algorithms are used in AI softwares to remodel themselves automatically based on the data analysis to provide more and more refined results to suit their designated function. Human resource management, HRM, is the strategic approach to effective management of people in an organization such that they help their business gain competitive advantage. It deals with recruitment, selection, training, development, compensation management and their payrolls, and performance appraisals, etc. Coming towards the needs of artificial intelligence in human resource management, AI helps in eliminating manual analysis, it helps in making less biased decisions, it translates insights into actions, and helps improving business performances. Talking about the ways in artificial intelligence is reinventing human resources, the different ways are mentioned here: candidate sourcing, resume screening, interviewing candidates, streamlining employee onboarding, enhancing retention, personal assistance, automation of administrative tasks, employee benefit management, smart people analytics, improved training experience, and employee offboarding are some of the ways in which AI is reinventing human resources. Talking about the next part of my research, where the purpose it was being conducted was to study the impact of artificial intelligence on various HR functions and to find whether AI leads to job losses. For the purpose of this research, quantitative and descriptive research design was used by collecting primary and secondary data. A questionnaire was floated to 140 HR professionals for this purpose. Talking about the age and experience of the respondents, from the graphs, can be seen that the maximum HR professionals that had taken part in the survey were ranging between 25 to 29 years, and the maximum experience that they showed were ranging from 0 to 4 years. Coming towards the questionnaire that has been put up, this graph talks about whether AI is being used in their organization for the purpose of HR. Around 63% of the respondents answered that AI is being used in their organizations for the purpose of HR. Coming towards the question that whether AI will lead to job losses in the coming 5 years, majority of respondents said that they can't say if AI would decrease the number of jobs in the HR field or not. This graph talks about the outcome that people would most likely achieve through the application of AI in talent acquisition in their organizations. From the graph, it can be concluded that ability to identify candidates with required competencies and consuming less time sorting through resumes are the prime reasons that AI is being adopted in their organizations. Now, talking about the challenges faced by the organizations while implementing AI in HR, from the graph, we can see that the biggest impediment that the organizations face while administering AI into HR are the lack of required HR professionals skilled in the area, which is closely followed by insufficient budget and incredulity that AI can make a difference. Now, this graph talks about the extent of artificial candidate sourcing and screening, learning and development, performance management, compensation management, industrial relations, administrative work, and health and well-being. From the research, we concluded that the major impact will be seen in the area of candidate sourcing and screening, learning and development, and administrative work of HR. Now, this graph talks about the benefit of artificial intelligence while training and development. From the graph, it can be seen that 54% of the respondents cited that they are always looking for reduced learning time as a function. 34 respondents cited they're always looking for reduced travel time and expenses as a benefit in their training and development programs. 35% of the respondents cited that they are looking for improved consistency of learning, while 72% of the respondents said that they're always looking for enhanced productivity as a benefit while conducting their training and development programs. Coming towards the potential of AI in improving HR functions, for this purpose, we took advanced data analysis, chatbots, automated assessments, virtual assistants, natural language processing, and facial recognition as the tools. Talking about whether
I guess she got disconnected. Shweta,
Yes,
make
sir,
a call
maybe network
to.
issue.
Yeah, yeah. Just make a call
She will
to her.
connect.
Yes, sir, doing that. Yes, sir, doing that.
She will connect in a minute or so, I suppose.
Otherwise, you can move ahead. There's no issue.
Shweta, in case if you're not getting the call connected, you please proceed further.
Yes, sir. So she's just joining in.
Okay.
Hello. Ma'am, there was a disconnection issue out there.
Okay.
Shreya, please carry on.
So ma'am, should I present which slide was there? Because I don't know.
You come to the presentation mode, and I'll tell you the slide.
Okay, sir. So is it visible?
No, it is not on. It's okay. Now I think it is coming.
Yeah, it's visible now.
So the slide
Please
I was
proceed.
in.
Just go back by one more slide.
Okay.
No, I think you've gone too far back. Go forward. Go forward. Further.
So shall I start from here?
No.
So I can
Move
start
forward,
from
move
here.
forward, move forward, move forward.
Forward. Okay.
No, I'm saying move forward. You've gone back. Take, carry on.
This is I'm actually moving forward.
You move forward.
Okay.
And further. Yeah, this is the slide you had explained this. Now you can start.
No, I think two more slides. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So should I move forward or
No,
backwards?
that's all.
Forward.
You can start.
From here?
No,
You
the slide which was
Yes, potential of.
the slide which was there earlier, the yellow one. Come to that.
Sorry.
The potential
I'm really
of
sorry for
AI.
the interrupt.
Yes, this one.
Okay.
Yes. Potential of
Okay,
AI.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm really sorry for the interruption and the internet connection. So I would like to continue now. I was talking about the potential of AI tools in improving HR functions. In this questionnaire, we took up tools like advanced data analysis, chatbots, automated assessments, virtual assistants, natural language processing, and facial recognition as the tool which will be used in improving HR functions. Around 42% of the respondents believe that chatbots will greatly impact in the improvement of HR functions. 45% respondents believe that automated assessments will greatly impact the improvement of functions, while 44 respondents believe that the virtual assistants will greatly impact the HR functions. Talking about the whether for HR purposes, would you suggest your organization to make use of AI in the coming 5 years? From the graph, it was concluded that around more than half of the respondents are willing to adopt AI applications for their organizations in which AI is not. Now, talking about the findings that have been in the research, Around 63% of the respondents are working in an organization where AI is being used for the purpose of HR. A very less percentage of respondents, around only 8.6%, believe that their respective organizations are highly prepared for adopting AI applications in various HR functions. The major impact of AI would be visible in candidate sourcing and screening, learning and development, and administrative work in HR functions. More than half of the respondents would always want to see features such as ability to analyze, ability to organize, ability to diagnose, and many others in AI-powered HR application. HR professionals had mixed reviews when asked to respond whether AI would lead to job losses in future or not. Ability to identify candidates with required competencies and consuming less time sorting through resumes are the prime reasons for adopting AI in most of the organizations. The biggest challenge faced by organizations while administering AI into HR function is the lack of required HR professionals skilled in the area, which is closely followed by insufficient budget. Now, coming towards the conclusion drawn from the research conducted, it can be concluded that the major that even though application of AI in HR is relatively new, it is an increasing area, increasing concept area. HR applications will transform HR. AI has the ability to analyze, predict, diagnose, and become a more capable resource while focusing on employee needs and outcomes. However, there are challenges like lack of skilled professionals, huge budget, which needs to be addressed promptly. AI systems must be managed carefully by finding reliable learning data sets, using the right implementation approach, seeking clarity, elimination bias, and considering unintentional consequences. So thank you everyone for listening, and a special thanks to Monica ma'am for guiding me through this research. Thank you.
Very well done, Shreya. Very well done. This was part of our summer internship project. And contacting 140 professionals was not that easy. She did it hard. Well done, Shreya.
Thank you,
Congratulations, Shreya.
Once again, share the respondents' profile. Thank you, Shreya. Now it is time to share with you the name of the recipients of HumanOurce Awards 2020. The Institute initiated the HumanOurce Award to recognize the benchmark of excellence in the HR profession. The HumanOurce Award 2020 is a unique opportunity for the whole industry together to celebrate their very being in the HR profession, commemorating their best in achievement, ability, and performance. There are 7 categories of awards comprising personalities from academia and industry. HumanOurce Award for Young HR Talent of the Year 2020 goes to Mr. Sanjay Adhikari, Assistant HR Manager, Surya Nepal Private Limited. Mr. Sanjay Adhikari is an MBA graduate and a passionate HR practitioner with 6-year experience from IT and manufacturing industry. His ability to think outside the box is one of his amazing qualities. By being a HR practitioner, he was able to implement and train performance management system based on KRA and KPI in his organization. Congratulations, Mr. Adhikari.
Congratulations, Sanjay.
HumanOurce Award for
Yeah. You can ask these people to express their views towards the end, those who are the recipient, or in between, whichever is convenient to you. If they want to say something.
Okay. Ms. Sanjay Adhikar, if you would like to express something.
Sanjay is here, please.
Thanks everyone. I feel very honored to receive this award. Thank you, organizing committee. Thank you, Nobel Academy. And I would also like to thank Mr. Tonka Prasad Putrai for his support. Thank you, everyone. I feel honored to receive this award. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Sanjay, once again. So really proud of you.
Thank you.
HumanOurce Award for GHS-IMR alumni of the year 2020 goes to Ms. Chandani Sachdeva, Senior Analyst, Sourcing or Recruitment, KPMG, India. Ms. Chandani Sachdeva has more than 5 years of experience in recruitment, talent acquisition, and staffing. She is currently a part of KMPG Global Services in US Recruitment Process Organization team. Congratulations, Ms. Chandani Sachdeva. Ma'am, would you like to say something?
Chandni is with us.
Sir, she was not with us, I suppose.
I think she got disconnected, so we can.
Okay.
Yep.
HumanOurce Award for Nobel Alumni of the year 2020 goes to Mr. Amit Thapa, General Manager, Himshi Fruits Private Limited, Nepal. By profession, Mr. Amit Thapa is a CA and amicable personality with cheerful attitude. He has a very dynamic personality and has showcased a great ability to resolve conflicts. He always tries to lift the spirits of those around them. Congratulations, Mr. Amit Thapa. So, would you like to say something?
Amitji, congratulations.
Thank you everyone. And thanks everyone for this award. I really feel honored to be part of this HR Summit and hope to be part in the coming days also.
Yeah.
And thank you, Bishwar sir, and thanks all my respected professors, respected teachers. Thank you everyone. Thank you.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir.
HumanOurce Award for Women Professional of the Year 2020 goes to Ms. Pooja Mathur, Group Manager, Human Resources, MagicBricks.com. Ms. Pooja Mathur has a 20-year experience in the field of HRM. She has an amazing track record for managing all the HR functions for MagicBricks.com. Congratulations, Ms. Pooja Mathur.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you so much. Special thanks to Dr. Monica Srivastav, and thanks to the esteemed panel here and all the entire organizing team. I feel delighted to be a part of this HR Summit, which is very topical today. And I'm sure with the continuous support of between industry and academia, there are more things that we can create, and collaborate together and create more wonders in this space of human resource. Thank you so much, everybody. It has been lovely meeting you all here.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Great.
HumanOurce Visionary of the Year 2020 goes to Mr. Pramesh Parajuli, Executive Director, Bata's Organization, Nepal. By profession, Mr. Pramesh Parajuli is a CA and working for Bata's organization since 10 years in executive position. Under his visionary leadership, organization has come a long way and established Bata as brand in Nepal. Congratulations, Mr. Pramesh Parajuli. So, would you like to say something?
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. It was a very wonderful program today. Like it was good learning in this HR summit. Especially, I'd like to thank the organizers, GHS-IMR, Kanpur, and Noble Academy. Special thanks to Mr. Bisheshwar Acharya. It was really an honor to be recognized in this program for myself and my organization. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Congratulations, Professor, once again.
HumanOurce Organization of the Year 2020 goes to Dish Home Nepal Limited, Nepal. Dish Home Nepal Limited is one of the most admired and aspiring companies of Nepal, run by the topmost professionals who had helped in creating a top-notch corporate environment in Nepal. The management consists of energetic professionals who possess creative mindsets. Congratulations, Dish Home Nepal Limited.
I think Sudip Chari is on here, I guess. CEO of the company is here.
Okay. Speak something if he wishes. Mr. Sudeep, if you wish, you can speak something. Yeah, Shweta, we can move forward.
HumanOurce Veteran of the Year 2020 goes to Mr. Tanka Bhattarai, Vice President HR, Shankar Group, Nepal. Mr. Mrinal Kanti Burman, Ex-Executive Director, Steel Authority of India Limited, India. And Mr. K.N. Maan, former Principal, Bank of India Staff Training College, Chennai, India. Mr. Tanka Prasad Bhattarai is the Vice President HR in Shankar Group. He received his Master's in Business Studies from International Business and Organizational Development. He holds the experience of corporate trainer in various manufacturing and non-manufacturing industries. Mr. Mrinal Kanti Burman has an experience of over 40 years. He joined Bhilai Steel Plant in the year 1980 and is involved in Modex resources provision, systems improvement, and creates a productive environment in and around Bhilai plant. Mr. K.N. Maan is double postgraduate in English as well as economics, CAIIB, NCES, International Certified Career Coach, having exposure by way of completing many online courses from Open Learning Campus of the World Bank and varied experience in the fields of academics and head of training establishment and development. Congratulations, Mr. Tanka Prasad Bhattarai. So, would you like to say something?
Thank you, GHS-IMR and Noble Academy Pokhara. Thank you for nominating me, to giving me the opportunity this award, and I am very honored to be part of this session summit today. This is the initial connection, and I think long life connection will be here. And thank you all of you. Thank you all of you, and thank you once again to the organizers, and thank you all of you for this awards. And I'll be always with you. Thank you all of you once again.
Congratulations, Professor, for your
congratulations.
Basically, this is not complete my profile. I'm from mechanical engineering plus MBS plus I have completed on the LLB as well. But due to the time constant, the profile is not completed over there. No issue. Thank you very much, all of you. I have more than 20 years experience here. So thank you all of you once again. Thank you a lot. Thank you.
Congratulations, sir, once again.
Congratulations, Mr. Mrinal Kanti Burman. So, would you like to say something?
Yeah, good evening to all of you. I am really honored
that GHS-IMR has given me this honor. I was a part of the summit a few years back, and I am really proud that under the able leadership of Dr. Rakesh Prem, the institute is doing well. That is a great thing. And today, full session I have been present, and it has been a real learning. But only one or two line I would like to say on HR profession. You know, in this pandemic, we are discussing how HR has to function. But to me, it is a sad chapter because, you know, I must say HR has failed India in the sense that if HR has really taken the lead role, these migration of laborers and other things in a substantial way, we would have been able to contain. Today, we are seeing reverse migration of the labor. Why the organization and the HR people are not wise enough to say that these people are our people, we need them, let us sustain them. This is a serious failure, and so many lives we have lost. Other thing is that HR, we are telling that we are always sidelined, and we want to be in the limelight. If we want to be in the limelight, and these are the catastrophe if we cannot handle, then the dynamism with which HR should mold every day and adjust with the changing scenario, as also we have to be futuristic. We have to be really, really alert and really dynamic, not only in words, but in actual work also. Then HR will really put a print on the total organization and the development of the country. And I understand that will be the real resurgence of HR. And I am sure your institute will take a lead in this direction. Thank you very much. Thank you once again for honoring me.
Congratulations. Thank you so much, sir. Very rightly said.
Congratulations, Mr. K.N. Man. So would you like to say something?
Mr. Man, sir, would you like to share something?
HumanOurce Award for Academic Excellence 2020 goes to Dr. Shad Ahmed Khan, Chair, Staff Professional Development, Affiliation and Linkages Committee, College of Business, University of Greece, Sultanate of Oman. And Mr. Kapilesh, Assistant Vice President, RSPL in India. Dr. Shad Ahmed Khan, Assistant Professor, College of Business, University of Buremi, has abilities in corresponding arena that offers professional growth. He is very flexible and innovative. Mr. Kapilesh has established the learning curriculum in the esteemed organization spanning many decades. His contribution includes the analysis of learning needs, content development, and designing of learning programs. Congratulations, Dr. Shad Ahmed Khan. So would you like to say something?
I hope I'm audible. Good evening, one and all present here. Greetings from Oman. Thank you so much for this wonderful honor. I really feel honored. My sincere thanks and appreciation to one and all, the people who are behind the success of this HumanOurce. I have been a very patient listener since afternoon today, and I have been learning a lot. My sincere thanks to the patrons, Loin Visheshwar Acharya and
Professor Rakesh Premi, and of course the conference chair, Madam Monica Srivastava. I really feel that during the COVID arena, we all have become more productive, and it has been really the academicians are on their toes right now, because when the world is shut, the academicians are still working. And that's where I dedicate this award to all the academicians around the globe. And thank you so much. Looking forward to long-term association like this. Thank you so much.
I think from all teachers and faculty members, I can say thanks to you for recognizing it.
Yeah, congratulations, Dr. Shah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Many congratulations.
Congratulations, Mr. Kapilesh. So would you like to say something?
Yeah. Thanks, first of all, to everyone. And thanks to the organizers, and especially to Dr. Monica for this award.
Congratulations.
And I would like to ask first one question to Dr. Monica. Do I have 120 seconds to speak so that I can speak my heart out?
Please do. We would like to listen even more.
Okay, when I was looking at this academic excellence, the word itself, it gave me two meanings out of it. One was academia, the academic part of it. And me and Dr. Monica, we keep discussing, that academia needs to feed the corporate and the corporate needs to feed the academia. And possibly that is where, my role has been over many years, trying to, maybe, create something called corporademia. I mean, if I have to use a word, it's not there on Google, please don't Google it. So we need to be moving more towards corporademic, corporate academic. That is what I'm dealing with. I won't call it corporademic because it rhymes with pandemic. So I'd rather call it corporademia. Okay, because that will give shivers. And the other thing which I was wondering about this award, that is the excellence part of it. I do not think that anyone can achieve excellence. I think it's a pursuit. We will never feel that, we have arrived. It is always, it's like a continuous arriving only, and it's a journey, and I think, it will always remain. And I would like to also further add to some of the things discussed in today's HumanOurce. In terms of when we're discussing about change and we're discussing about adoption of technology, I would also like to say that no one can ever say that, in today's world that, I am delayed. How can I catch up? How can I catch up? I'm delayed. Well, the COVID-19 taught to us that, you can start from anywhere and go everywhere. In today's world, if you want to do any academic research, any knowledge gain, you can start from anywhere. No one in today's world has an advantage. No one has a disadvantage. We only have a vantage. Means we only have a point where we are. We have a stage where we are, and we move from there. And then we evolve from there. I think things are moving away from goal-oriented approach to evolution, because we don't know what are our goals. We don't know what's going to happen next year. We don't know what's going to happen in another 3 months or time. And another discussion that happened about survival of the fittest. This is something which, it's my favorite. Survival of the fittest is a term only and only used by Charles Darwin when he talked about survival. In a survival threat situations. In threat situations, survival of fittest happens. But what if we start looking at everything as not as threat? If you start looking at, environment as opportunities, and I think COVID-19 taught us, people looked at it as threat, people also looked at it as opportunities. So I think in a full of opportunity state, it is instead of survival of the fittest, I'll call it prosperity of the learnability or something like that, prosperity of the learners. And I would like to end over here, a lot of discussion happened today about the VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world. And it was said that the new is vision, understanding, clarity, and agility. Well, if you Google for something called super VUCA, you will also realize that today's millennials, they use a different word for that. And that is vibrant, unreal, crazy, and astounding world. This is the world we live in. This is the world we want to create. This is the world I dream of every day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
You're welcome, Kapilesh. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Kapilesh. Really proud of you.
Let me now call the Summit co-chair, Mr. Deven Jaiswal, to post the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shweta. So then pass has come to me to propose a vote of thanks, and I hope everyone had a good session today. And I could have gone, one by one, discussing as to what all people have said. But what I would like to bring out, not the different things which people have said, but what is the unified thing which everyone has said. And it is quite interesting. Everyone, right from Mr. Arvind to Mr. Biju, Dr. Mario, everyone has said one thing. A, human capital is important. Second thing, technology is a great enabler, and we need to adopt to the situation. And at the end of the session, when Kapilesh has said survival of the fittest is not the right word. In fact, it is the opportunity that we are identifying. So yes, everything is an opportunity if you look at it like that. Otherwise, it is a fight for survival. So yes, HR is mainly on opportunity and how do we recognize it and how do we encash it. And the best part is that there is no age limit to it. So now I would like to first of all thank our patron, Dr. Rakesh Premi, and Professor Vishweshwar Acharya, who have given us this privilege to continue with this HumanOurce, and the richness of the ideas have been their guidance, and we thank you, sir, for your guidance. Next, I come to our chief guest, Mr. Arvind Tatadri from Automation Anywhere, who of course has told us what importance technology is playing and what importance robotics as well as bots are playing in the current situation, and how things are changing. Like today, later on also, people were saying that AI is the thing which has come, and we are seeing the implementation. So, sir, I thank you for giving us such a knowledgeable address today. And it has been a good association with us, with you for such a long time. Thank you. Then we had the panel discussion, which was moderated by Dr. Biju, and panel members were Dr. Mario, Dr. Bhavna, and Mr. Irfan Ali. So it was a very good discussion, and I thank you for that. Sometime in the time of, when the time is tough, we stop seeing what is inevitable. And what you brought out clearly was that inevitable thing is you got to be nimble, you got to be adaptive, you got to be flexible. And if you are not, you're falling behind. If you are, you're not only surviving, you are going ahead, you are surging ahead. So thank you for those ideas. Then the planning session was, first planning session was by Mr. Prasanna Puthe. I thank you for your views, which started from many myths were broken from COVID. In fact, that is what amazing thing. If I look at only COVID as something which is bad, probably I would not have looked into this point. Very important point. Many myths were broken, yes. And there is always light at the end of the tunnel. We should always remember that. I think that says it all, that completes it all. The second plenary session speaker, Mr. Shankar Prasad Bhattarai, had talked on leadership competencies. And of course, he also mentioned on agility, design, and sustainable leadership. So these were very important points which were brought by them. I congratulate all the award winners for getting the award. And a special thank goes to some of our students like Shweta, Shreya, Pratiksha, and Shushil from our IT lab. They have been very helpful. And believe me, this work has been done in last, I think, 1.5 weeks, that's all. So we had some tough time, and but still it came out very well. And also a special thank to Monica ma'am. Despite of, the loss she suffered, she gave full commitment to this program. So a very thank you to you, ma'am. And of course, our students, both first year and second year, who have been not present in the campus, and definitely we are missing them from the campus, but online they have been there attached to the thing, and I'm very thankful to them. So at the end, I would like to say a special thanks to staff as well as our faculty members at GHS-IMR who have somehow directly or indirectly have contributed to the work. And I hope everyone enjoys it. It has been a long session. We estimated that it will be getting over by 6, and I've already pulled you right up to 6:15. So sorry for the delay, and please, thank you.
People have been missed. For director and Deven sir in the vote of thanks. I include them also. Thank you, director.
That's what I have included.
And Deven sir. Deven sir, you have been a great support throughout. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Acharji, thank you so much.
Indeed, thank you so much, Monica ma'am, Professor Premi, Professor Devendra, and all the team. You couldn't do much because we are in a far distance. But we are in GHS-IMR,
But still we are together.
Thank you so much.